Praise God, our Heavenly Father, as we quiet our hearts this day and come before you, we want to thank you for your many, many blessings. And Lord, we just ask that you be with us here today, Lord, as we go over this budget, Lord, just help us to get everything in order. And Lord, we ask for your guidance. We ask for your protection over our employees, watch over them, keep them in the palm of your hand. And we'll give you the glory for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And did put in the figures from what we went over the other day, and we're about $383,000 short.
Okay, so all of us is here today, all the commissioners, I'll call the meeting to order. You have, you got anything on the agenda to change or anything?
I do have some bills to go ahead and, the sheriff added some things, the corporal promotions, and then just some discussions. And then, of course, we have Tara's grant, we have to.
Okay, so I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. And I approve that also. Okay, before we go any further, it's a little bit late. We'll let you guys want to come up and present your findings.
I had submitted a letter to the county commission. I don't know if all of you received it. Okay, good. So to explain that a little bit, we are a grant funded child advocacy center and we do serve 5 counties: Mineral, Grant, Hampshire, Hardy, and Pendleton. We have grants that cover all of our services. So we do forensic interviewing services, victims advocacy, mental health, medical, everything that we do is at no cost to the child and their family. Up until this point, we've been able to get a private foundation that has given us grant money for mental health services and things like that. They have since changed their funding priorities. They're still focusing on trauma with children, but not so much in the mental health field. They're doing like school programs and things like that now. My plan and what I'm hoping to accomplish is over the next year or two, I'm just asking that each county that we serve give a designated donation of $6,000 towards the mental health program at Sarah's house, which if each of the 5 counties do that, it'll be $30,000 to fund 2 of our therapists to continue to offer trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy to the kids that we see.
Your grant was a state grant you got cut out?
That one was a private foundation. So our state grant covers a lot of the salaries and reimbursement of the staff. Our federal grant also covers a lot of salary and reimbursement, which in turn covers the direct care services that we provide in-house at the center. We have several other different smaller grants that fund things for us as well, but the mental health is where we have a gap right now. Hopefully, sustainability looking forward in the future, some of those grants may increase or more opportunities come open. But for a temporary fix for maybe the next year or 2, if we could get each county to donate. And we have a lot of centers across, we work with West Virginia Child Advocacy Network. So there are centers across the state of West Virginia. A lot of them are receiving large portions of money from their county commissions to support big services. So we have, we know that ours is more rural than some of the state of West Virginia. Some county commissions have more money that they can designate towards those things than what we can. So we thought instead of asking a big ask from 1 county or 2 counties, we could do a small ask from each county, cover that.
I know a couple years ago, you texted me about, you had 111 kids from January 1 to December 31st.
Yeah, right now we are at 90 from July. So we're at 90 kids from July
So that's,
with more scheduled. I mean, our phone, and that's kind of how we said when we first came in about asking about where we were on the agenda, because just this morning we received an emergency that we have to go back for and take care of this afternoon. So we see kids continually.
so you stay well over 100 kids every year.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes close to 200, over 200 on other years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you have any questions? No, Doug?
What's your overall, budget for Burlington United Methodist for the year?
For the agency or for Sarah's
For the
house?
agency?
I can't speak on the agency budget. So the agency budget, I don't have parts of that. I can speak to Sarah's house budget alone is about $234,000 budget.
I got a real nice stand in my garage. As soon as you get that room,
Yeah. Stand.
the dollhouse.
Yeah.
Dollhouse, it's my
A
height.
big dollhouse,
I got a
yeah.
big dollhouse waiting.
She showed me a picture of how big it was. I was like, oh man, I'm not sure where we'll put that, but yeah.
Also some American Girl dolls, ants and
We're-
horses and.
And we do have a lot of people who give donations like snacks and things like that. Different parts of our budget go to
Well,
that.
she
so.
made a comment just in church. You're needing snacks
Yeah.
now and stuff,
Yeah,
water and snacks, whatever.
and then like I said, we have different grants that cover different programs, but this is the one with the gap that I was trying to come up with an idea. And like I said, other centers, they get large portions to cover, and a lot of them are their mental health program because it's an easier thing to ask for county commission to do the mental health program, but they usually just ask for a big ask from there. But with our county, I just thought littler asks would be better.
And the mental health care is just follow up after.
Yeah, so every child that comes in has the opportunity to go to therapy. So we are an accredited center with the National Children's Alliance. We're required to send kids to certain mental health services, so we can't just send them to any therapist. They have to be certified in trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy is what it's called. So we are able to send them to them, but because of no cost, some of them who have insurance, they can do billing and things like that, but there are still co-pays and deductibles and things like that. And we need to be able to offer their services at no cost to children in these situations, so that would cover that. And then some of them do, like, we have a contracted psychologist who does this TFCBT therapy for the children who have no insurance whatsoever.
So this isn't like Rennie and Laura's positions.
It is
Okay.
Rennie. So Rennie is 100% contracted, like she's contracted through us. She is the psychologist that sees most of our children who have zero insurance. So if these families don't have any insurance whatsoever, zero insurance, while our victims advocate can work with them to get resources to insurance, unless they do that, I mean, there's nothing that we can force them to do. So Rennie she just bills an hourly rate flat across the board for every kid that she's seen. She's been with me since 2012. She does a really great job. And then Laura is able to do a lot of the billing, so she does a lot of the billing through Medicaid and West Virginia and CHIP and all of that, so.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take this into consideration.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, thanks.
We're gonna go ahead and.
Yeah, you got a meeting.
Thank you.
All right.
So Tara needed her grant approved and the resolution approved. The correction grant and authorization to the president.
Put this, what's this grant for?
It's her, it's the actual community corrections grant that pays for her program.
Okay,
It's like
Oh, they-
190,000.
what is it?
I think it's around 190,000. Is that right?
And this,
300, didn't it?
I'm seeing 300,
Yeah.
requested 403, received 302,
Yeah.
committed 302.
That's her, okay, that's what she requests. Her award is 190 usually then. So, but
Well, it
that's
says
what,
here- It says here awarded, local funds committed 302,000.
yeah,
Is that right or not?
that's what she has to put on the application, because
Oh,
each year
okay.
she wants more program funds.
Oh, okay. All right,
Was this already approved from the previous commission?
It's
Oh, yeah.
ran her program since it started.
Yeah, since 2010.
yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve this grant and, authorize the president to sign
And the resolution.
and the resolution.
I second.
And I approve that also.
Yeah, hers is solely on grant funds. If she didn't have the grant funds, there could be for.
Her annual grant funds are 190,000. She bills DHHR about 330. You guys contribute 82. The Grant County Commission contributes 40,000. Home confinement brings in about 35, and then criminal client fees are around 8,000. So her total budget's almost 700,000.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Make sure we can.
No.
Jason, you better snap it.
Take one, that's a thing.
What's your percent?
Bradley,
I'm sorry?
Yonker and Bradley.
Yes.
This next one here. Yeah, just go through for that.
The rest of it, me. Get down. I come up and said, wait, who's 2913? I don't know. That's. Yes, one. There's 14 indeed.
Okay. Sounded like longer on the radio.
Today?
Saturday evening. You free Saturday evening?
American Hayden. No, I think they've been working days.
Lauren, is this for me being on the board of corrections? For me
Is
to,
it in the notebook?
yeah. For me to sign,
Does she have a note on there?
just says Jason.
But I said, yeah.
I just want to read what he signed for,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, 13 is definitely Kessel.
Is it?
13's Kessel.
He didn't do anything,
Okay.
where he went, and it's rather interesting,
Oh,
being recorded, so I can see it right now.
I'm just getting ready to say it, but
I mean, it's public, it's all public, it was out there on the radio, so it's all public.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
The first item there he has is the promotions. The corporal exam used to be required to be a tested exam. But since they claim it's no longer a supervisory position, the Civil Service Board did vote on January 31st to make it a time and service promotion. It does come with a salary increase of $1,000 at this time, so that's why that's coming before the county commission. And we did letters for both Yonkers and Brathwaite. Yonkers being backdated to September 1st, which was his eligibility to be automatically promoted to.
What's the eligibility requirements?
2 years, or excuse me, 2 years in the lower rank would have been deputy first class. But September 1st, September 1st was Yonkers and February 16th is Brathwaite's.
Original.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we approve these promotions for corporal for both Yonker and Brathwaite.
I'll second it.
I guess that's approved.
All right, now, next up, your what is it, your spiral?
Purchase of the handguns, they've all been, delivered. All the red dots been delivered, they're in the process of being installed on the guns. Hopefully by the end of next week, we have guys out on the range doing qualifications. Some of you have seen some of the shotguns and rifles that some of the guys are carrying and working with. And I have spoken to some manufacturers that are willing to give us some pretty amazing deals on new shotguns and rifles. The distributor is willing to come in on the 27th and give us a presentation on a new tactical shotgun, which with most manufacturers is gonna cost around $1,200. These shotguns are being given to us at a price that are just below the assembly portion of it, which is around $260. But for the shotguns themselves and additional 22 mags is going to be $7,182. The rifles are coming at a cost of $960 per rifle. That's including a $350 red dot, a custom SBR, which these rifles would be considered a short barrel rifle to ATF, which means they would belong to the county and cannot be sold to anybody else unless they are a class 3 FFL.
That total is $17,356.93.
Now, them rifles is getting in bad shape.
The right, some are. Now, we do, I think it was 7 8 years ago, there was 5 or 6 new ones built, purchased, but the remaining of them are just mixed match stuff. So
What was the total price on the shotguns?
7,182.
Is this a deal where they're taking the old ones?
Yes, we will sell the old ones to an FFL. County Commission can approve that. I can't do that, would have to be by the approval.
They wouldn't go to auction.
No. You can't sell firearms or ammunition to the general public. They would have to go to a federal firearms license.
What was your rifle, 17?
17,356.93.
Have you got an appraisal on your current ones yet, or?
No, that's gonna, that's gonna take a minute. Some of those shotguns probably aren't gonna, you may not be able to give them away. Suppressors for the rifles. Now mind you, to go back, just for the purchase of the shotguns and just these magazines is saving us over $2,400 going through this, manufacturer. The rifles is saving us $4,320. And speaking to, if anybody's ever been inside of a room, especially with a short barreled rifle without any type of muzzle device on it, you're looking at, if it goes off, the officer or anybody in that room is gonna be disoriented. Been there, I can attest to that. So researching the price of the suppressors for these rifles through Surefire themselves, did not cut us much of a deal, which was basically $160 per suppressor. Was over $24,000. Going through a local dealer for the exact suppressor and muzzle device that are needed for that weapon, we're getting them for $19,782. Surefire didn't even quote me the price for the muzzle device. So that would have been an additional. What's that?
So it's 17,000 for the rifles and 19,000 for the suppressors.
17,356 for the rifles, 19,782 for the suppressors. Going through what I have here, saving the county approximately, it was $10,920. Now, what I have is in the law enforcement equipment fund, we still have the option to pay for those items. Question. That we have still give, that's along with the mag pouches and the TLR lights. The remaining balance of $42,120 in approximately in the law enforcement equipment fund or line item.
The thing with the shotguns, you can shoot, sorry, slugs or.
Yeah, they're designed to where the pistons in these, if you're familiar with a gas gun and how it operates, I know Dutch is. And I believe. If you're changing ammunition and going from a short brass to a slug round, which is a high brass and more muzzle velocity and more pressure in your chamber. If the piston is not set up appropriately, you're gonna have jams or misfires, which is gonna try either to not eject the round or it's going to double feed. This rifle is set up so you can load that magazine with slugs, buckshot, low brass, bird shot, anywhere, shape, or form in there, and it's gonna cycle every time. This man is guaranteeing it. That's why he's coming here on the 27th to demonstrate that. I think now that the approval through the Ethics Commission to have Roger do those, I don't know where was that going to be paid? Out of what line item? Did we ever discuss that?
For
The installation of the cruisers that we
I
have.
don't think we know.
980, okay, well, that's. If you add that into the balance that I gave you, the $12,800 for those four, that still leaves the remaining balance of $29,320.
What line item was that?
980.
Roger's part of the vehicles.
Yes, I believe, one of them has been started. They're still waiting, I think, for the other two to get from the gallery.
One thing, since we're in the meeting. So it goes on record here. I talked to Joel and Joel showed me some of those shotguns and how bad shape they were in. Some of it, to me, my opinion, my dealing with firearms is pretty much just neglect. The rustle and barrels and stuff like that should have never happened. And I asked him to, if we could come up with a policy that there is some type of inspection, because evidently there hasn't been. So that we have an inspection or we have a regular interval where the guns are looked over and maintained and treated and all that.
After that discussion, I've already spoke to Lieutenant Leatherman, who agreed that an inspection needs to be done on not just those, but all firearms.
All firearms.
Yeah. Every quarter, an inspection needs to be performed on pistol, shotgun, and rifles.
How do you keep them from rusting in a cruiser like that? Just keep them oiled and stuff?
Keep them oiled up, yeah.
Well, one of the biggest things is. I'll tell you how it was with the state police. When you have an upfitted cruiser, you've got antennas, holes and everything being drilled in the top. One of some issues that we had was when it rained, leaking down into the back rear end of the cruiser. And a lot of guys in the department, the only time they ever saw them was twice a year during certain qualifications. So if there was a leak coming down and it saturated the bag, which your weapons are laying in, yeah, they're nothing but rust. But somebody,
For a few days and they're getting bad shape. It don't take.
most of the rifle cases we had, I mean, they had to be laying in there for a period of time for it to get through the case to the weapon.
Oh, so they're not in racks in the front, they're in
And
the.
ours are. Now, our cruisers
Okay.
have, but, even still, out in the open like that, they can still.
Humidity and everything.
Well, that's what I was wondering, like.
And
with
dust
maybe
and dirt and
constant
everything else,
temperature.
so they need to be maintained and.
You take one of them out in rain or snow or something and you get a little bit on it, it needs clean. It needs wiped down, oiled up or right there. That's why I have some of mine I want to take out.
Well, I'll help you with that, sir.
I've got a couple I'm using bad way. And I am.
Did you say you suggested it quarterly? Is that what?
Yeah. I just suggested some type of an inspection on a regular basis. And he brought up every quarter, which I think is good. I think that's really good. I don't think the guys get the guns out and clean them and go through them and make sure everything's working like it's supposed to.
And even still, I would like to be able to do, I think with the recent ammunition purchase that we were given, again, you're not just getting the guys out on the range twice a year. You're at least doing 2 qualifications and maybe once every quarter, depending upon what you have, if you have enough to at least go out and run through some functionality drills, which would give the officers the chance to fire 60 rounds. That's just with their handgun. So that would maintain not just, that they're using the weapon, but they're also looking and handling the weapon and then again, have to clean the weapon.
Yeah.
But it would help the officers with their fundamentals, which you gotta have in play if you're out here, if you're drawing that weapon, whether it be a pistol, rifle, or shotgun.
When you get a new,
It's a perishable skill.
when you get a new weapon, isn't there a recommendation of how many rounds when you first get it to shoot through?
The shotguns, no, rifles, it's depending on what the ones that we have now. I mean, you're talking 11.5 inch barrel. So it's not going to be your 1,200 yard precision rifle. It's more CQB out to 300 yards. Which at that point, our officers aren't going to be engaging that. unless they're being shot at that distance, but. Where this comes into play is typically what they're going to deal with on any given day. If domestics, which has happened where by the time the officer gets there, somebody's lying in wait on them. And, if you have to get, sometimes you have to go in and you don't have time to wait for somebody else and you know there's weapons involved. This would be the prime weapon of that.
How long's the barrel on them shotguns?
On the shotguns
On
or,
them shotguns?
18, I think.
18, what's the ones on
On the
them?
rifles, 11 and a half.
11.5 inch barrel.
Yes, sir.
It's on a rifle?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty.
That's considered an SBR through ATI, which is a short barrel rifle, which requires, technically, if you were a private individual buying that, you can. But you have to file for a permit through, ATI and pay the $200 tax stamp.
Is that what it is? I
Yes,
didn't,
sir.
I didn't.
And again, that's another thing. Technically, we are excluded from having to pay the tax stamp on all 18 of those rifles as well as all 18 of the suppressors.
Yeah, you'd have to pay the 18 or the 200 tax stamp on a rifle and 200 for the suppressor.
Per rifle, per suppressor. We don't have to do that.
All them I got was less than 11 inch barrels, 16.5 inch barrels, probably not labeled with them.
16 and a half,
No, less.
no, less than 16, it requires an SBI.
Good thing I don't have any.
Sir, we may have to talk to your son. I don't know if you do.
Pistol, revolvers, I got some of them, but I don't have any rifles. 16
Well,
and a
see,
half
that's
shorts I
the
got.
loophole that's not gonna take long.
I was just picking on you a little bit.
Well, that seriously, then in reality, that's a loophole that ATF has not quite been able to get, because all you have to do is change the stock on that gun and put a pistol stock on it.
Yeah,
and You've got 11.5 inch pistol,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it's
And
just,
it's legal.
yeah, and it takes about 45 seconds to do that.
That's-
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Now you need our approval to buy these shotguns or rifles?
I would like, I mean, we do have the budget for it,
Mhm.
but I didn't wanna come in here and blindside anybody and tell you I just spent.
Well, here's my thoughts. I know what some of them deals with, and I don't want to see them out there with a piece of junk.
Exactly.
That's my thoughts, and I'll stick to that till I die.
Now, I'm here to tell you, I did not go through each and every rifle. I did not go through each and every shotgun. I've seen a handful of shotguns and a few rifles. But I can tell you right now, if I was to do a function test on every single one of them, I'm willing to bet you're gonna find a couple that don't function.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Willing to bet it.
Well, I'm good with it. What do you guys?
And this will bring our whole inventory to everything being the
Our
same.
entire department would have brand new, equipment that they're working with. Pistols, rifles and shotguns and everything down the line. Now, like I say, these rifles, they were not separately priced with the red dots. Those red dots are typically $350 a piece. They are included in that price of $960 per rifle.
How many shotguns were you getting?
It's 18,
How many rifles?
18. And 18.
Suppress.
And the, with the new, new handgun purchase, we have the mag mounts and short a few of the DLR lights. Which, that is also, the mag pouches came in $1,832.88. And the DLR lights came to $1,477.49.
How much is the whole total this, that you're going up with? Do you know right off?
I don't.
I had 44,320 for the shotguns, the ARs and suppressors, but that didn't include the lights and stuff
Okay,
there.
if you include the lights. Which, when you say 44,320
44,320.
plus. $7,629. Now also. The price of 12,800, which I didn't know, that's why I asked if that was where the cost of upfitting the cruisers were coming out of that budget as well, so that'll be $12,800. total $60,429.
That's with the cruisers.
Cruisers, and that includes the cost.
This is 980 as in where we buy
Actually-
cruisers from?
Hold on, let's back up here.
Have the cruisers come out? Like those total invoices come out of there? Okay.
That's just for that. Now I had,
Cause we have the cost for the kennels and the lights and sirens and radios, always budgeted in that too.
now what I worked off of is what as of today, 3/17, is showing an unencumbered balance of $120,407.39.
Now, if there's anything purchased with P card, it's not gonna reflect that.
We went through that. That's why I was trying to get everything together, had Roger come over to show me everything that he had, and I went through and checked off everything that was still pending and what has been done. Now, that's including the $12,500 of balloon payments that we pay each month up until the end of June, correct? For the cruisers. The red dots for the pistols, the rifles, the shotguns, the suppressors, $10,326.15. That is still outstanding from the purchase of the P cards and stuff that has not been paid yet
Okay.
for the cruiser install. That's equipment for the cruisers. And the mag pouches, the TLR lights, and the 12,800 goes to R&R. That, all of that deducted from that total is leaving a balance of 29,340.
With buying the weapons, you still have 29,000.
That's with buying, that's making the loan payments, paying for the red dots for the pistols, the rifles, the shotguns, suppressors. All the remaining balance of material that was purchased but hasn't come out of the 980 yet. Including that in there with the new pouches and the lights, and yeah, that's everything.
Do they have, cause I'm a novice with guns, I'm not an expert or anything, but do they have suppressors for shotgun?
They do. But then you're limiting yourself to what you can function with.
And how much longer does it make the barrel on the 11 from the suppressor?
Depends on the rifles or shotgun.
The rifles.
I believe it's 5 inches, roughly 5.5 inches.
That'd be good, 16-inch barrel then. Technically.
In order for it to be classified as part of the weapon, it would have to be permanently fixed to the barrel, either by weld or pin. One of the two. So that would be the only way you could get around that. Now, again, with the shotgun, the way the compressor is set up, you're taking a cylinder and each side of that, the center is bored clean through, but you have baffles all the way out through to that. That's what, as the gases that fell through the end of it, they're within before they go out, which reduces the noise. Now, shotguns, that's a completely different story. That those are coming out the things really bad. But in essence, I mean, they are. That's a lot of stuff you see in here on the news. Everybody's breaking out ARs and terrorists and doing this and that. But if you really want to wreak havoc, take one of these out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd rather have a shotgun than,
I mean,
or close.
these come with 10-round magazines and 20-round magazines are available. Yeah, can you imagine
That's a
that?
lot.
Where are you getting these? 10 rounds?
10-round magazines. The supplier's giving us 18 for free. And discounting, 22 more, from $35 down to, I think it was like $20 a piece for it.
And this is pending them coming in and demonstrating in a demonstration as well.
I've already shot them all and seen them.
Okay.
I know what they're gonna do, and listen, it's gonna be here on the 27th. I invite you guys. Lauren, come on down, shoot some shotguns with us. No. I'm kidding, Luke. You're more than welcome. But these guys are coming in here for free. And putting on, I have, I think 4 of the double star rifles, which is what I talked about purchasing. 4 of those coming in. I have another, AR coming with the exact suppressor that we're using. That way the guys can shoot that to see the difference between the two. The engineer that is coming that built and designed this shotgun will be here himself. That way he can sit down and show my armors exactly how to take these things apart and what to do at no cost at all. They're coming here on that.
So you want a motion for us then? For you to buy them?
I hope you guys agree with me and let me,
Does he need it since he's already got the?
Well, yeah.
whether I need it or not, I don't want to come in here and tell you guys I just spent $70,000.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it
get it.
doesn't cost, you don't have to, you don't have to get closed bids or anything like that.
Oh,
Do what? I missed that.
I need-
15,000.
actually, all the logs should have been the same way.
But I don't know if there's, because they're limited on where they can buy it from.
I missed it. What is it?
Because it's over.
You're about to back one.
But if you're buying per each, I mean, if it's per each, it's not.
If you're going manufacturer direct.
Yeah.
If you can get. I wonder if they have a GSA contract or anything. How much, okay, the assault rifles by themselves, how much is that as a total?
17,356.
Yeah.
The suppressors are 19, shotguns are only 7,
Anything. over
but you're buying them all
50,
from the same place? Joel, you're buying them all from the same place?
Yeah, technically should go through the procurement policy. There's a couple of ways to do it. If they have. Chances are, if you just ask, they have a GSA or a procurement contract that we can just piggyback off of. Or the policy technically, unless there's a contract we can piggyback off of. Or you can get a sole source letter from them if they're the manufacturer. Or we can put it out for bid in the newspaper. There's no three options.
Have to have more than one bid, it's basically what it's coming down to.
Do you have a salesman? Like a dedicated salesman?
Mhm.
If I come down to your office later, can we call him?
Sure.
He'll know exactly what we're talking about. He'll either,
Now, yeah.
Is he dealing with all the counties?
Hmm?
Is he dealing with all the counties?
I
several other
don't
counties?
know, not, the shotguns, no, we would be the first law enforcement agency that they are supplying their weapons to.
But other counties buy from them, I'm sure.
I don't know. Double Star, yeah, we
first
tried
in the
to,
country or the first in West Virginia?
say again,
First in the country.
first in the country. Now, these shotguns are all over the nation at 3-gun matches and everything, I mean, I got a video, I'd like to show you guys if you wanna see how they operate.
Well, I was hoping they would have,
Well,
you guys
shotguns are only 7,000. so-
Yeah, shotguns are
We're buying everything from the same vendor.
But the AR and suppressors are,
so the ARs never sold to law enforcement either?
yeah,
They never sold
Yes,
the AR?
there are some, but I don't know which, we tried to get them in the state police back several years ago, but there was a guy that was a Smith and Wesson dealer. And he retired from the state police and was hand in hand with the colonel, so they went with Smith and Wesson and paid $60,000 more.
If you all approve it, I can definitely, I figure we can either get a sole source letter, since it's the manufacturer directly. We can, either piggyback off another procurement contract. Or worst case scenario, we publish it, and you have to wait 2 weeks to order it.
Well, I've got you two prices on suppressor. The one through Surefire is $4,200 more than what, the exact same thing that we're getting from Bloss Guns. Is
Are
it-
you okay with, are you guys okay with just him and I working that out? 'Cause we can
Yeah.
definitely do that. If we have to publish it, it just means you wait 2 weeks to order it, like it's not,
Is that a problem?
No.
I'm in favor.
unless you all are okay with that, but we can definitely make.
Do I hear a motion to approve and buy these as long as they work together and get it?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
I approve that also.
And if we have to publish it, that's what we'll do, and it'll just mean
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks before you can order
I don't want to.
Publish it within the county
it in the news tribune.
and.
Well, you're not gonna get nobody to be different.
Well, the only person you're gonna be able to have bid on this is one.
If we publish it, it doesn't matter if anyone else bids.
Cause it doesn't have to be within the county. If somebody was to bid on it, would they have to be within the county or could it be?
No, it could be anyone, but they'd have to, like,
Gotcha,
I'll give it.
sounds good.
I'd like them to have good stuff,
Yeah.
like the courthouse, bailiff.
My first, incident and a young trooper started in Martinsburg with the shotgun they gave me and it wouldn't function.
That's what
That-
scares me.
That,
That's why I like getting rid of junk.
that kind of worries me too. They were shooting at us and we could hear them flying over our heads.
It's nuts.
At the time, we didn't have those. So those came very shortly after, but.
Bailiff.
I spoke with Lauren about it. There is a code section that if a bailiff is provided to magistrate court each day that they are used for the purposes of court, whether it be a court hearing, whether they're dealing with arrests, or whether they're actually escorting people back into the courtroom for to pay a ticket, the county can be reimbursed through magistrate court funds, $35 a day, not the sheriff department, the county. Now, there is also a code section that states, I think it's I believe it's 17 cents a mile that the sheriff's department can reimburse for transportations for anything from magistrate court to the regional jail. That's not from anywhere within the county to Memphis, it's just from the court to the regional facility.
So that's only out of the magistrate court fund,
That
right?
specifically states magistrate court, but it can be reimbursed back to the county.
Now, we wipe that fund out every year, though, don't we?
That's what I told him. I said, yes, we could, but we already wiped it out, so.
So one thing I did see on the listserv from Tabitha, and I've never looked at the balance, is every year their county asks the Supreme Court and they give them permission to also take the remaining balance out of the,
General school.
no, the check fund, the
Worthless check?
worthless check fund. That's a
Not much in
magistrate
there
fund as
either.
well, right?
Yeah, but there's not much money in that.
I
either.
didn't think it was, but that is one thing I've seen is you can also pull from that, but other than that, there's no revenue.
Yeah, they mentioned that. My reason for bringing that up, that would help cover the cost of the new hire that we just did for bailiff, which. I don't need.
But if we're already wiping it out, going into general county, but if we wanna do it in that format, then maybe
So how-
later on the road, it can build on something else.
So how's that fund get funded though? How's that-
Through court cases,
They're
When they-
costs.
yeah. Percentage goes to the magistrate and worthless check, and the state gets the majority of it like everything else.
Do you talk to Charlie first unit?
Not too much.
I talked to him the other day. See, according to state code, we can be paid up to 30 days of somebody being incarcerated at the regional jail. Did you know that?
The county can be
The
paid.
county, this guy pays, he has to pay for the first 30 days that he's incarcerated. There's a state code.
The individual being arrested.
If you arrest him, he goes to jail. But the problem is, it's always been, we can't, the magistrate court's done it some. But we couldn't get the prosecuting attorney on board. He said
So
they
the
don't have
county
the
can
money.
be reimbursed for
30
the
days.
first 30 days of
Yes, sir.
anybody that's incarcerated.
Yes, sir. I don't know if I got that
It has
here.
to be part of the court order.
Mhm.
Well, That's,
That's,
now, is that's
That's through the
magistrate
process.
and,
Yeah, through the
Yes.
circuit judge, prosecutor, and the magistrates.
I think that's right.
well, here's the thing, what's the likelihood of the people that were putting in jail having that money to,
Magistrate court was going to go out, we were actually getting some money.
Yeah,
what stopped this?
well,
COVID, I don't know.
It's the same thing that happens with home confinement. They get on a kick and then it just slowly fades and they forget about
if
it.
we could, all we gotta have is a form typed up and the judge has to sign off on it. And now, some of them, I agree, some of them probably don't have enough money to do it. A lot of them does. And that would help us a lot. I talked to Charlie about that, but he's never got back with me. You talk to him,
Absolutely,
that would help, you know,
100%.
and I,
You got these? sheriff's coming here and asking them to spend all this kind of money, and you gotta pick it up somewhere.
You can have the code check for that bill. I don't think I got that output yet, did I?
I'll get it to you.
Just text it to me, Sean.
I'll get it back, I'll make a copy of it. For this specifically.
Or if you just give me the code, and I'll. We really can't discuss anything since everybody left the room.
Hey,
So what I was gonna say though, is state code allows us to charge rent. So circuit court, we're not allowed to charge rent for, that's constitutional, you guys provide facilities for them. But magistrate court and family court, you all can charge rent to. Family court was created much, much later, and the Supreme Court pays their rent directly through an MOU between the county and them. Magistrate court, the only way you can collect that rent is based off of their fees. The state doesn't assume any liability for unpaid amount, because their square footage fee would actually they would end up paying substantially more than what we collect.
But they never have anything, probably the most they've had in there at the end of the year is maybe 13,000. So you bill them $125 a month rent, there goes the whole fund for the year.
So you're
So
telling me I need to tell the guys, get out here and write more tickets.
No, it's not that. Well, I guess it is that too, court costs.
then that'll make your jail bill go up, so.
Now, not arrested.
But is that something we wanna do? We wanted to, if it's there's a code section, so when there is a code section, so we just need to abide by that code section and then,
I think rent is much easier than tracking a bailiff. But the only thing I'd be curious about is the worthless check fund, but even then, I think code allows us to charge $10 or $12 a square foot.
but then if more
So-
counties are doing this, if there's something down the road that the legislative looks at, then we could already have those numbers.
Well, you're looking at, I mean, if you. $700 roughly a month, 8,400 a year. Is what, if you base it off 20 days. The way they figure it out, there's gonna be at least 20 days a month where they'll be used for one purpose or the other. And that would be. Granted, it's not a lot in a year's time, but. $8,100. But
Well. I mean, he's
it's
already
already
just,
just used for rent, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting it one way or the other. Good thing to be a little bit more check.
You're saying if we keep track of the bail, there might help legislation down the road.
If they look at something down the road, I mean, we'll already be doing that.
well, I mean, maybe what we should do is just each year generate an invoice for rent, bailiff services. Whatever else we can charge by code, and even if we're only pulling 20% of what that invoice is, at least we have it on file showing what's not being received.
You gonna keep track of the mileage to get that 17 cents a mile? or-
Yeah, that's something that's simple, signed off by the judge and by the officer, which again. State police did it for a brief period of time, and it's not that they stopped doing it, it's just the officers stopped doing it. But that doesn't apply to if they're out here in Wiley Ford and they make an arrest. Now, that can be done, but that goes.
That's what I was gonna ask, if you all arrest someone while before.
That's okay, I have to look at that's even a different amount.
You're saying from the courthouse to where we
Yeah,
just.
from magistrate court only. They won't pay from circuit, just magistrate court only in 2 minutes. Seconds.
That's the standard mileage. That'll change.
Where does that has to come out of the magistrate fund though too? It's not
I
like,
believe so, yes.
okay,
But we could go ahead and, do the worthless check for what is in there probably this year.
well, I've gotta,
Pretty much zero it out.
we've gotta send a letter to the admin board at the Supreme Court for approval.
And do we have to wipe out magistrate court plan first before you?
That's my understanding, I'd have to reach out to Tabitha to confirm the exact process, but.
I think the other reimbursement. Considerably more, it's 40 some cents, I believe, or more. I believe that's reimbursement from the state. So I'll look into that as well.
Yeah, we'd like to get some of that.
Yeah, I think that I'll have that, I'll have answers.
Out of our little pot.
Well, It would be nice if the legislature could do something so that, but they're not gonna do anything that commits them to something more financially, which is what.
So do you want me to have this on the agenda for next Tuesday?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Yeah,
But we need to have Charlie here.
Well, this is for something different,
this, that's,
You're just talking about for the power.
yeah,
for the band.
for the bailiff reimbursement.
I think the best thing to charge.
But I don't think.
We'll have better numbers in the code section and everything.
Charlie's always I've always thought for him that going back to Charlie, see if what they can help us with. I know one of the drawbacks is going to be, I know what one.
Because we have a lot of budget stuff to do yet, so it's already an hour in, so still, I got several hours for budget stuff, so speed it up.
You know, that would give us a little bit of money.
Well, just remind him that if he did that, that would help us pay for the remodel of his office, if he really wants to love in that place.
I agree. Okay, now, are you worried about your law enforcement building?
Yes, sir. The new building does not have a shower. Now, I'm not saying that the guys need to be able to come there and take a shower before you come to work. My big, granted, they do have a workout room down there, and it would be nice if they could do it, take a shower and get uniform, but my biggest concern is some of the times when you're out here in the field.
Yep.
They involve a situation, they get another person's blood or whatever on them, have a place to where they don't have to take them home.
I agree.
Now, I talked to, a couple of the guys at the department down there, thinking of maybe upstairs, but the only really feasible place up there would be that utility closet, but they told me about downstairs where one of the actual cells has a shower and, a commode in there. It's just that we need to,
Is that where if you bring somebody in, a criminal in, that's not the shower they.
no,
It's just separate.
this is separate. This is just a small, it's the one right on the corner. If you're in Tom and Karen's office and you look, it's right there on the corner. It's actually got carpet on the walls. They had asked about, you know, I guess the other guys had spoke about it before, about turning that into like a locker room, changing room, something. But there's actual space back there that, I mean, you could probably get somebody to come in and replace the toilet there. Functioning, it's already got water, it's already got the sewer. Stainless steel potty and a concrete wall for a shower, but everything's there.
They need a place. You don't know what you're gonna get sprayed with. You don't know.
Well,
I
I got a place in there, wash the dog, can't they?
I thought of that, but some of them might not like it. I even asked Roger if he think about backing those down.
But if it's a situation where they got something nasty on it, why can't they just use the current shower that's there? Sunblock, like it
It's not
functions.
functioning right now, but it's there and can be made functioning. The water, everybody knows a toilet, a dry toilet, you have to keep enough water in it. If there's no water in the trap, it smells. Well, that's where it's at right now. The old toilet and I would say probably get panels to make the line for the shower, right? I don't think you'd be able to get one of the 3-foot ones in there and put in there. I don't know. But you're gonna have to make the water work again, but you can connect to the water and the sewer to make it functioning. Right now, it does not function.
Well, I was under the impression that one of those on the sunblock worked.
And if you seen it, you would shower in it right now.
No.
I think they need something. 'Cause
They have one for the inmates when they come in.
Yes,
That's when you're.
That one works.
yes.
That's in the big cell. Right,
Yes.
that's the one you were talking about?
I don't know, I just thought, when we were talking about that in the beginning, I thought, I was under the impression that it was a shower.
Maybe in the main cell.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that would be because they still have people in it. This one hasn't been used to put people in for quite some time.
And
Well, I'm in favor of looking into it, if we wanna look into costs,
some
see how
estimates.
much, get some estimates, see how much.
So that doesn't change anything then on the hot water heater pricing?
Well-
Because I was under, when I saw this on the agenda, I called Dutch, and I said, I don't think we should get hot water heating pricing right now, because we put in 2 4-gallon tanks, that's not gonna do any good if you put in a
the
shower.
hot water is easy to solve, but you can't get nobody to listen.
They make small units.
They make
That
little,
heat.
yes.
I know D&D is coming to price that, but I can't put a 4-gallon unit in if you're gonna put a shower upstairs.
No, this moved
This be
downstairs.
downstairs.
Right. Yes, I know that now.
In the beginning,
When the agenda went out last week.
Okay, he thought it was gonna be upstairs.
And
It's gonna be on the right wall, Lou, not the left wall, right?
I know that I think D and D already came anyway.
What's a 4 gallon? What are you talking about 4 gallon?
I was just upstairs watching.
That's what you all told me to look at.
You can buy this, because I thought about buying. When my hot water tank went bad, I looked at them. You can go right up here, they start, we're gonna get them there. $200-300 each. Little square heaters that the water runs through and the heat.
The on demand.
Huh?
Talking about the on demand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And little electric, you don't need a tank. You do not need a tank for them.
It was only $200 or $300.
Yeah, they're tankless.
Now, what I will say though, when I talked to Royal Air about an electric hot water heater years ago, they said they would never, ever, ever, they won't even sell electric on-demand hot water heaters because they're nothing but problems. If you're gonna get on demand, you have to get gas, they say.
Is there gas in that building, then?
Yeah.
Is it?
But
Yeah, but we don't wanna run gas line all the way up there and all that.
yeah, I thought the 4 gallon, cause it was only 110 was a good solution. That was
Yes.
gonna be a simple,
I agree with you.
And what was the price of that?
they was, I think they got it talked about, I think they can buy it.
Now, this is downstairs, where is the gas lines, all, they're already downstairs.
You guys have plenty of hot water for a shower downstairs. That won't be a problem. You guys have a large commercial gas hot water.
I'm not asking to put any upstairs. We looked at that.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, there
We are all on the same page now.
Okay.
Yes.
There where your little sink is, where you come out of the room there, their break room, that break room you got where that's water and stuff there. They could put one of these little heaters, them little heaters.
Oh, so you're talking about having hot water upstairs?
Yes, you weren't there for that discussion.
No, I was not.
Yeah, so the guys, when we were at the training, the guys had mentioned that again, that there's no hot water upstairs. You guys have a hot water heater, a gas hot water heater downstairs.
Gotcha.
There's just not enough flow to get it upstairs. If one of those showers were operational on those 2-inch lines, you would have no hot water pump on the first floor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you can buy them little heaters, $269 right here from Amazon.
Now I'm up to G.
The only problem you use, right there's 240 volts there.
Not so much now, but when it was really.
I don't know if
cold,
you get a 240
warm water upstairs.
Yeah, I was just gonna get, well, we'll see what the plumber said. I can ask,
But 110 was so much. it's
One
already up
ten be
there.
better,
It's
yeah.
already up
I
there.
and that's why I was just looking at like the 4 gallon. I keep saying 4, it might be 6. I don't really know, but it's what we have here. Actually, yeah, it's what we have in this.
They have 2 pipe chases.
Mhm.
And we can put the tank inside both of those pipe chases, one for the hallway sink and the one for the bathrooms. And pretty quickly can be done.
As long as that outlets in there have electric.
As long as they're both pipe chases had electric in there, we just weren't sure if they had.
The only drawback may be if you can get them in 120 volts. I'm not sure what volt all them comes in. That's something I can't answer. But they're tankless water heaters and you can get a good one for $300, pretty good one. And you just plug it into 110, hook up.
So that's the kind I would.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, and then we would put it inside the pipe chase.
Right,
Right,
yes, like,
that's what I was just explaining.
yeah. I thought that's what we had here, but we have this here. I
Yeah.
guess it's like a 10 gallon or something.
But if you go down there and I know down there the other day when you was talking, you can turn that water on and the hot water on upstairs, nothing to sink. And come back 15 minutes later, it's still cold.
Inside both of those pipe chases.
Right, especially for one.
And
Yeah.
you can buy those little heaters, you can put it right underneath the sink. If it's 110, now I can't answer 120.
Well, and these are 110. You can really
Yeah.
plug this into a standard outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause if we get something any larger, we'll have to, so bring those 2 chases together would be another complexity. We gotta go with something that we can put 2 in.
Yes.
So, anyway, are we done with Joel? Okay.
Kind of off subject, but on subject. So Kristen's break room's not gonna have any electricity?
It will, but we told her we're gonna wait till after everything's done.
No, it's not getting new electric.
It already has power
The
there.
power that is there will stay there.
Oh, so there is power in that room?
Yes.
Okay,
Cause she had mentioned like moving it on a wall, but what I told her was, once they open up any of that stuff that has Romex, the entire circuit has to be rewired. Because they have to build it to code, they can't just connect her a new outlet. Like, cause those are all, that's all,
Well, when
Romex is the right
a lot of
term,
it, there
right?
was nothing electric in that room, and I thought, why wait until everything's fixed and then tear it out to put electric in?
No,
Well, they're not doing anything in that room, man.
Well, she needs at least electric in that room, so.
there is electric.
In her
She
break
has
room?
power in that room, yes.
She don't have electric in her break?
Well, apparently
There
she
is.
does,
There's electric.
There is electric in there.
yes.
There's definitely electric in there. Romex is the right word, right? 'Cause I keep saying that, okay.
Let's look into this shower and heat structure, because I know they said over there, they turn the water on, stand there 15 minutes, still got cold water for that heat.
And that's upstairs?
That's upstairs.
That we are taking care of.
They're
I have taken Doug, I've already put in a work order. Doug has already contacted V&D. They are working on that.
So I'll look
But he's supposed to get an estimate for the shower.
Shower.
Yes, I would love for you to take care of that.
You do?
I would
I
love.
I
for you
was
to take care of
hoping,
that.
wow, can you come with me? I wanna take you over there and let you see that and
Well, when
endure
they're
the smell.
phone call to the gun guy.
Well, Chris, and
Yes.
the other side of that is though, Chris did say when we were talking about this, in 22 years, he's never had a need to shower at work.
Do what again?
When we were talking about the shower last week, Chris, the cleanest of all your guys, for sure,
But has
said,
he ever, well, sorry to be recorded, but
I can tell you
get
this
home and
much,
take the clothes off before he walks in the house because of how nasty they are?
right, but that doesn't mean he was gonna shower at work.
Well,
You're right.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact.
yeah, every officer's had to do that.
Right.
Times.
Yeah. I just don't.
So if it's available, then they might use it.
yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of times, I mean, first time I dealt with that, I mean, the gentleman had, he, HIV positive and, he was bleeding and had saliva and he didn't tell me until I was at the office processing and I had it all over my hands. So I had to go through the whole year full of getting tested and doing this and doing that. And thank God I did not have to take that stuff home because it was all over me. I had blood and saliva all over me. And luckily at State Police Barracks, we did have a shower. Smelled like rotten egg, but at least I could shower or somebody else's stuff.
No, now they have city water now.
Yeah. Back then,
In the building then. it does.
oh, yeah.
Well, I think really this is for their protection.
Oh,
All right, yes,
Kind of what I'm asking.
yes, I agree.
The electric check.
Our water bill one month was $16,000.
Down at the.
Oh, yes, sir.
What happened?
Water line busted underneath.
oh.
Under the house, under the
The
building?
detachment.
Okay, there's changes in it, I didn't know.
But somebody that turns.
And the pump and everything around back, I mean, in the backside of the detachment, well, the secretary. She was the only one over there, and the only time she would go in is in and out, and she didn't pay attention to hearing the water running. And nobody questioned it until we got the water bill of $16,000. And then I called underneath and my gosh, what a mess. Now, mind you, this is copper piping that has been fixed and repaired and
Also, it was the copper that busted.
Yeah,
It wasn't the main line coming in.
now it was.
Well, you had a mess underneath that place. didn't you?
Oh, my.
That makes me feel good because I put the main line in.
You coming back in the original days or the new one?
No, the city water. I put the city water
Oh, no.
in. And it was all plastic.
No, none of that. This was all,
And then I remember how my crawl space was too. That was
oh,
big
imagine
guy like me. Imagine a big guy like me trying to get back in there.
you couldn't.
It was difficult.
And you probably had to grease yourself up to squeeze through that hole between the two. Yeah. But imagine all that water.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we're good.
One last, and do you want to talk about that other position for that dollar amount? For the law enforcement department?
All the.
These are with the new figures for revenues.
That's bringing the,
This is expenditures with the adjustments. Like I said, if you take our new revenues and take our expenditures are still $383,000 more than our revenues. So there's either a couple places to look at, or if you want to increase the carryover number and hope that it's accurate, that's on you all.
And you did put the 109 in there.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
How much
under
did you say?
$383,000 expenditures or more, and that's without. That's with the steps, that's no raises.
Does it include the HRA with the higher deductibles?
I just,
No, and I was actually wondering, is that?
I just got that on Friday.
Okay.
So these are the new deductibles, 27.75 and 45.50.
Wow.
This
okay.
is if we funded it current, the same as what we funded now, this is with those deductibles, this is if we funded.
So that'll depend on what you guys. Are they aware of the increase of that? Did you email them that?
Yes, I know they have it. I just got, she sent it to me on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
So no, I do not have this. If you guys, I guess, need to decide which of these you're gonna go with, then I can put those figures in as well.
What figures did you use? The current one?
Yes.
Uh,
The 60
two
and
hundred and eight
32.
or no?
Yes. So I had another 95.
that's why I had her, I wasn't sure what you guys want to do, that's why I had her work on current, you know, and full.
That's why she did all those, because she didn't know which. She wasn't sure what to get.
Yeah, she said she was gonna get it.
What was everything you was talking about then?
Yeah, so this doesn't, this is the same.
For the,
This is for employees at 44 or employee.
that's bad.
$1,000 towards each employee's deductible.
Or did you guys approve 2 more deputies for the sheriff's department to bring them up to 18?
We had talked about it.
We talked about it. I don't remember approving it. but I do
No,
remember
we had
speaking
talked about it and kind of left it on the table until after this. But that's when I told you, if the one gentleman that we were hoping, I would have had to come in and get approval for one of those positions, all would have to do that. But you're talking about the increases for
The ranks.
the rank increases, how much was that total?
29,000. Bringing them up,
Yeah.
and then to add in what I needed, I didn't get a chance to get an actual figure because I was trying to get these changes done.
What I was asking Lauren earlier about is how much those totals would be, and if, because the price of those 2 additional slots were added into the budget in hopes that we were being approved for those. So that one of those positions, funding for that one position could be taken to allocate that money for that rank increase to bring it up to where it needs, plus pay the difference of what the salaries would be for that for the next year. And that would still leave the funding for one deputy position, if you approve it.
Over. Are you full now, pretty much?
With the one that we are hoping to hire,
Yeah.
we have his interview tomorrow, that would fill every slot that we have open. That would fill all the slots that we have open. And we had asked for the 2 additional, which, we were waiting for all this to be, and so I included the salaries for those 2 additional. So if we used one of the salaries for that position to pay the rank structure increase, 29,000. And correct me if I'm wrong, the remaining balance of that salary would also pay for that year increase. Makes sense? And then we would still have the salary for an additional deputy if we were given it, approval to hire. Or that could be a portion that could be put back into the general fund for the county. That could help reduce salary.
You think if we're hard enough, when you think that. And here's what I'm asking, we've sold one time, that if we hired 2 more people. Oh,
Now,
it did,
well, we've never been able to maintain that full staff number.
not a, well, for a short period of time, they did. And it wasn't long, but
I do believe, because just because of adding Boone to that mix has been able to cut back considerably on to Roger and JJ having to work third shift because we've got that floater. Now adding, bringing the water into this and we get both squads,
Top of that, too.
if we get this Selesky in there, that's really gonna put us in good shape. Because anytime you would have a case where this guy calls off sick, where your floater works out, you don't have to call somebody in that's on his day off to work time double, well, was it double time and a half or time and a half? Or somebody having to work a double shift or change schedules, which still puts them in a position where they have to work a double. So we would have overtime is going to be considered.
Exactly, right now, that's.
Sure, we can't have another 100,000. But, did I present that the same way that I presented it to you earlier? But that would allow us to make, that rank structure increase. We don't have anybody that can test for sergeant yet, though, do we?
September,
September,
you'll have 2 available to
yeah,
test.
that would
One
give
in
us the
August, one in
2
September.
additional sergeant slots to test for, which they approved those, right?
They did approve those spots,
Yeah.
they just have the deputies themselves have to wait. Because their 2 years and a lower rank isn't until August and September.
But if we did that with that portion of the one salary that's already requested in the budget, that would give us what we need to make that happen, which we need that rank structure. For some reason, even still, in 4 to 5 years, we're not gonna have everybody that's gonna have the time and grade to test for certain positions. So 5, 6 years from now, whoever the shirt may be at that point, if there's guys retired, you're not gonna have anybody that's going to be able to fill a captain position because nobody will have the time. So they're gonna have to hire a chief deputy. That's. And then you would only have one eligible for the lieutenant and then. For one lieutenant, not 2. And again, if there's. Man, I hope with the additional, the water and the additional deputy we're on, that's putting us one above our slotted manpower at the time, or they're equal to, right? No, that's putting us at what our allotted manpower is.
The water turtle, yes.
I mean, even if that second salary that was added into the budget went back into the county, I mean.
But if you are one, you're actually one above, we'll have 17, right?
If we kept that salary and you gave us permission to hire one more, yes, that would put us one above what our allotted deputies is. So there's 2 options on
And
it.
that would help.
What's this number here for salary? Is that
That's 18 officers.
18?
It's for 2 additional.
Right now, they're very interested in this.
We propose if you do 1 additional and then use that other
The
one,
other first, yeah.
the increase
The
in rank
increases in the,
promotions. Unless you consider vehicle with money.
Would that change the overtime holiday?
Yes, it would. It would.
By how much?
it'll increase your holiday.
It will increase.
Yeah, it wouldn't increase the overtime, hopefully it'd get down, but it would your holiday.
Well, no, it would, I mean, those officers' salaries will go up, so.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're saving more in overtime, you have
Hopefully it'll pay for that.
that, yeah.
This increase is for those officers that have 24 years of service in. And there is a big gap there between these officers and the newer officers. So when those officers do retire, there will be a difference in salaries. That's part of what he's trying to put in place now, is to maintain those officers. Number one, maintain the officers you have to bring them up through the ranks.
Cause if you take JJ, Chris, Roger and Mark, you take those 4 out of the equation, and those all of them, I mean. 3 of the 4 have over 20 years in, Mark is right at.
And you're here for 20 this fall.
Yeah, outside of that, your next closest one is Donnie at 14 years.
Below that is 8.
So you've got a lot of young guys coming up that has to fill positions that they have to have rank in that position before that, 2 years.
2 years no lower rank.
He's not going to retire. He's gonna die there?
He told me the other day, he said, I don't think I'm in a hurry to go.
No, not right now. He
No.
said he's looking at 4 or 6 maybe.
He got that different question. He said, I was so bored, so,
2025.
but he was set. He wasn't out doing, he couldn't get out and do anything. Okay. Now, Mark, you wants to go.
Keep it out.
June one the other day.
He,
Oh, you were on vacation.
No, I thought on Tuesday you go. Last Tuesday.
Yeah,
Oh, last year.
I got a feeling if a few of them go, it's not gonna be good.
No, that's what's so important, to keep the ones you.
I agree, I agree.
Because the experience
Well,
and
you're-
the training to get them to the point where they can.
if you look at an agency our size, even higher at that point, if you take guys that have 24 and 25 years in the department at the rank of captain, lieutenant,
I think I might have to clean that one.
and even an agency that has ranks in between sergeant and lieutenant, like first sergeant. Oh, you got guys making $89,000 a year. That's basically, that's without a doubt.
That's
Yeah, well.
We have guys in the state police with less time in the department at the rank of captain, making more than he did.
Do you guys wanna put this one?
Well, I kind of need to know in a way because it's on the budget. I need to know what I'm budgeting for. Balance.
What's the thought?
I don't know. I didn't have time to think about it, so.
I mean, if we need to schedule another work session, that's fine too, because like I said, right now, we're 383,000. That we're gonna have.
I could foresee us having to schedule another budget session.
I was just getting ready to say, can we do that? That way I can get some more information.
But Tuesday is it. I mean, Tuesday, the budget has to be
Yes,
submitted.
well,
on.
I know.
You're gonna have to schedule the work session, I'm tied up here.
That's fine.
I can't, you have to go talk to the doctors. Can't help it.
Let's see how much we can get done today here.
Yeah, so I probably could tomorrow.
What time does the work session have to be scheduled for? During the day or?
Technically, you got posted 3 days ahead, so tomorrow's kind of, but unless we recess. we had a break.
I'm gonna be in Petersburg all day Thursday.
Well, that would give me the ability to talk to the captain and get his opinion on what he foresees and believes these two, well, one in the academy now and the one we're planning on hiring, what he perceives that being for the next year. That way we will know whether or not that one spot for that deputy would have to be, possibly filled or could be put back into the budget.
Okay, so the one you're thinking about hiring now will fill you to 60.
Yes, the one we're hiring, most likely, we do have a slot for him.
And then the 2 extra ones, you hire one more, then the
Or-
18th one would go back into the general fund for overtime. or
No,
whatever.
we wouldn't hire the one more, but the salaries for that one of the 2 would go for the
Rank promotion.
rank promotions and for the salary increase to cover that. And then the other slot would either be yes for an additional hire or go back to pay.
And that promotion rank isn't gonna use the whole thing up, because when you budget for a new employee, you're budgeting 75,000 with their salaries and the benefits. You're budgeting $75,000 for that position. That promotional rank is not gonna use all that up, because you're looking at around, I'd say 30,000 for the difference is what one thing we're talking about. Because right now, it's like deputy first class is 500, corporal's 1,000, now it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But we're gonna do, it was going to be a percentage based on the base pay. And those percentages was 2, 4, 8, 10, and 12, I think, were the percentages. So it's those differences, because right now, if we promote a lieutenant, it's gonna be the same pay. But if you approve the increase and then just give it to the new officer, the new lieutenant is gonna be making more than the current lieutenant. So that
Basically,
difference in pay is what we're talking about, and that's what we're looking at, 30,000.
So
Okay,
on this, you have 18 deputies.
Mhm.
So in this deficit, are those 18 deputies
Yes.
calculated in?
Yes,
Okay,
Now, mind you, that count also includes your captain, your sergeants, your lieutenants, your.
No, she's got, like, the commission approved
Yeah, she's
additional
got-
But it
deputies.
doesn't have the
Built in
rate
here.
promotions in there, it doesn't have that
Okay.
30,000.
Just has the base.
Well, I was just, and I might have missed it, apparently I look at things and then don't know what's going on. So maybe you guys already discussed that, but I see that, okay, so the budget has 18 deputies in it.
Oh, I got you.
And then it's got
Yes.
Karen and Tom in there too.
There.
Because we put the overtime in there, we base the retirement and the social security based on the overtime rate as well, so that's figured in.
I know it's not a whole lot, but do you have the park salary reimbursements in our revenues? Cause that's been like $15,000 now. With Cody's $5,000 increase.
Then
That's about the, yeah, that's coming from Park, so, right.
I know that's not a whole lot, but when we're breaking it down to what we are, that $5,000 is not nothing.
So the new raise you just gave her was gonna be fully reimbursed by.
Yes, for
Yes,
Park,
the
yes.
five- So
I
that's.
did her raise, but I didn't do her in the revenue
Yeah,
side,
'cause they're gonna do,
which the revenue side, again, is purely an estimate of what you hope to receive.
right,
So your revenues, you wanna kind of keep a little lower
right.
and hopefully better, because you don't want to add in too much and then your revenues run short, then you're really not.
Right, well, I'm just thinking of like sure thing stuff, like that $5,000 Parks isn't gonna.
Yeah.
Stiff us on, for lack of a better term.
Now, the new, but okay, the new revenue report I gave you, I took out all those excess years, and so I just gave you the current year and the projected. And as you can see, it was 8,091,12. Now this new expenditure report,
You guys done with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Carol's been here for 10 years. No, that's messed up.
what'd you say?
Carol Emery.
Oh, yeah,
Karen Jean?
she was in the assessor's office,
Pretty
and
close.
the prosecutor's
Here,
office,
she
yeah.
got here shortly after I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you.
If you need, the D and D didn't show up, or is that who you're gonna call? No, for the hot water. Is that who you're calling for the
Back
shower?
to the weapons. Did you wanna call them?
And let me. Can I get you today or tomorrow, and then we can call them? I don't know if we'll be done today, it's 3:00.
Well, I will call him and get a time for tomorrow.
Okay.
Does that work?
Did you know?
Yeah.
Okay, now this new
Okay.
expenditure
Thank you.
report.
Yep, thank you.
On the far right-hand side. Like on the front page, you'll see 6,976. Okay, that's how much it's increased since the current budget, okay? Now, if it's, very few of them are less. But if it's less, you'll see it's a little bit darker and it has a negative. I don't have colored printer, excuse me, because they were red and green. But, so an example is 425 is $86,000 less, and that's because, we had the, professional services with the improvement project for the annex, we had allowed extra in there. But if to go through some of these, like I said, we're $383,000 over in expenditures. So the first one, if you kind of want to glance through there, if we want to question any commission, the increase in that,
I'm questioning the travel. Could we cut that back just a little bit?
First,
Wait a minute, did you need,
did you guys want to?
No, I'm just hanging out.
Did you want to increase the revenue from 1 million to 1.5? That's the other thing.
Not unless you got some money to give the ambulance authority.
we're $383,000 short, so.
Well, that's not much in the grand scheme of
Not.
things. Budget.
On the revenue side is what I'm saying.
That's the quick fix, but
That
then
is
you're
a quick
hoping that you actually have it.
yeah,
And if you don't have it, now you're really in a pinch, because now you really have to work cut. So just go over these expenditures, we're just gonna quickly go by department, not line by
Yeah.
line.
right.
And that way, if there's anything, and then we can make some adjustments there. We haven't even talked about the coal budget, and it has to be approved Tuesday as well, okay? So,
I think we need to cut back travel a little bit.
But
I mean-
Jason and Dutcher, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. They travel though, and just cutting it doesn't mean that you want to use it.
But where else you gonna come up with a little bit of money? We
But
got a
my
lot of
other
money.
thought was to cutting it, is then one of us goes and represents
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying cut it completely out. I didn't mean it that way, but we raised it $2,500.
And I'm okay.
We're 383, that's what.
I'm
Well,
okay,
yeah,
I'm okay
2,500.
going to conferences, but
383,000 of full, budget.
Cause that's about the only thing really went up other than the
The
insurance.
insurance.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, the insurance, that's the only
So do you
thing.
want to address that in travel or not?
How much did we spend last year? Do you recall?
The long form. Okay. I didn't, I was in such a hurry to grab the long form.
last year,
Why not? That's the-
7,800.
$7,802.
Mhm.
2,300 so far, that was half a year, and that didn't include Mineral County Days,
Commissioner Association.
Commissioner Association,
I can tell you where $150,000 is,
Where?
2 deputies.
yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's, but right off the top, that's a
Yeah.
huge number.
Yeah.
Well, they were all increased.
And that, to be clear, if anyone's watching on YouTube, that doesn't cut current staffing.
No.
Yeah.
So just leave that at 75. I say your total increase was 6,976. County clerk, the total increase was 15,583. 15,000 of that was for that
Extra.
grant. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
technically my budget only increased $583,
Okay.
okay? Circuit clerk was 7,900, that is insurance, and then she only asked for 400 in food and drugs with her increase. Okay, that tax office, you did approve another full-time position and part-time position, which made that increase 24,000.
There's 10,000
Why,
right
why did
there.
their overtime jump up? Why did we just,
That's part-time person is 15,000 for a part-time person,
oh,
and
okay,
then, cause you gave them back their full-time person, and then their half-time person, or their part-time person.
yeah, I didn't understand that when we did it, but,
You could still.
that wasn't,
We can still cut it if we.
yeah.
Now's the time, because guys, it's 3 o'clock. And the budget has to be approved.
Next Tuesday, I know.
Can we cut that? Can we cut that overtime position?
That's what you all. You gave him back his full-time person.
Too bad he just left.
Yeah,
Want to call?
Up to you all.
Call me.
That gives them what, 3 front counter girls plus 2 in the back, right?
Mhm.
Full-time plus
and
Debbie.
then another.
And they were thinking about Debbie, maybe during, if somebody's on vacation, or, when they're really, really busy times, but there's only 3 windows out front.
Right.
No matter how many people you have, there's only 3 windows out front.
Yeah, bro, they still as good as they used to be, when you can pay your taxes on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Joel,
Yes, sir.
we're working through the budget here of the employees that you have. We gave you the one full-time employee, and you still have in the budget for a part-time employee. We were wondering, how you would feel if we cut that part-time employee out.
I wouldn't be discouraged, but I would need to talk to her. That gives me my 3 full-time ones, so that's.
Well, and she could work till the end of the year.
She could work till the end of the year.
And if pinch Chris or Kathy can go out front too.
Yeah, I think the only reason they asked for her help was come at a certain time of the year. But honestly, that's something we're gonna have to do. I understand the budget is.
Well, and Joel, they hired her as a fill-in for when that full-time position was eliminated. So that's how she came into all of this, Debbie Taylor.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, but she'll be good until the end of June, correct?
Yeah,
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay. All right, not a problem.
thank you, sir.
thank you.
Yep.
We're gonna have to come up with some money
So
somewhere.
we're gonna knock 15,000 off of that, put that back at 500.
And sorry, where does that number at?
Okay,
Okay.
001-404-10302,
Thank you.
tax office overtime. Because that was also that part-time position. Prosecuting attorney was only increased to 2,920, and that was insurance and a couple little things we can buy. Assessor's office is an increase of $56,000. that was because you did approve the full-time position with AVAL is going to reimburse half of that salary. Now with that, I did include, because you gave it another full-time position, I did budget in there for a family coverage. Now, if she doesn't need family coverage, that knocks 13,000 off of that right there.
But you won't know, correct?
Right now, I don't think she has family coverage, but if you're given a full-time position, you know, to make sure that that, we're kind of budgeted in there. So that could actually knock 12,000 off of that,
It would.
and then
406, 105, assessor insurance.
I should have known these pages,
Thanks.
sorry. So yeah, so that additional full-time position is figured in there, but I did also provide the family health insurance coverage in there
So
too.
instead of 82, you're looking at about 69.
If you took the 12 off of that
Well,
too,
now if she wants single insurance
it's
though,
5 or 6,205.
you want, I mean, we could just call Jill and ask, I mean.
Well, you-
Well, but even if, when we're talking about somebody that this is going to start July 1, if somebody, she decides to quit and they get somebody else in there, so that's going to change, that could change.
So that,
Just leave
part
it.
of that's being reimbursed back from AVAL. So you okay on that?
Yeah,
Okay. Extension was only increase of 2,400. Most of that was the step ups and the insurance increase. Election was only increase of 1,900 and of 7,000, 1,793.
I tell you what would save a lot of money with extensions if they had a county vehicle.
How was that gonna, when there's 3 people going 3 different directions?
That's,
417 was an increase of 11,000. That's an increase from last year, but I think that was to do with Eileen's increase. So I think that was really, oh, and then the travel increase.
yeah, the travel's the only thing I asked for was.
Yeah, the rest of that was in salaries.
several questions, we go back to elections.
Oh.
With only being a primary and an off year. Yeah, are you gonna need that much?
No,
Cause
Originally,
you got budgeted more for,
well, originally I had backed down on my request and then we went back up with them. I said it is an off year, but what I don't use, like last year, 90,000 went back in, this year like 80,000 is going back into general county. I don't, what's not used doesn't get used.
Where was the biggest increase in election? There really wasn't.
Poll workers. I used every poll worker that came to class, I used them somewhere.
This election had a huge turnout.
Hmm.
This election had a huge turnout, so
Oh, yeah,
you won't get that.
no, the 26 election will be lucky to get people to come out and vote. But you still have to have all 24 precincts.
Oh, yeah,
That's the year.
All the ballots for all the voters and,
Yeah, yeah.
all right,
All right.
okay. Did you wanna cut any of those up? I mean,
Do you have to, the election advertisement for that, you need to up it to 6?
sample ballot cost, the legal ads, you have no control over what they charge for legal ads. And sample ballots, especially in, when you have we'll have executive committees on this time, that my ballot styles go from like 7 different ballot styles to 13 different ballot styles. Because you have your Senate districts, your House districts, then you have your delegate districts, and then, because with your executive committees, you have to have sample ballots for every district.
It might as well be left alone.
Actually, it's kind of odd that that one actually costs us more than the general of the presidential election year, because it's more condensed.
And that falls under election materials.
Advertising,
Okay,
2,000.
thank you.
Professional services, that's my ballot commissioners and runners. Okay, so are we moving on to 417, or do you want cutting thing? Now's the time to do it, guys.
I don't know what you cut.
And you want me to knock 5,000 off material supplies, knock it down to 20,000? Another 5,000,
for,
election material and supplies.
Yeah, down there.
Like 413, 34, 1.
I already knocked it from 30 to 25, but I can knock, you want me to try and knock it down to 20 and see where we go from there?
That would help with.
Heck, by the time I inventory all that stuff I have up there.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we knocked 5 off of material and supplies. You wanna knock anything else off?
I don't know where you knock it off at, because you really had anything, advertisements about anything you up.
Well, the printing, again, the printing, you think, well, we could possibly cut that printing down, because it's been kind of running low, but when you do have executive committees, you have more ballots out, and you get into that
You
again.
didn't really raise it, you just
Yeah.
I'd leave.
But
it
if you wanna
alone.
knock that 35 down to 30,
You think that would cover it?
I don't know, we can try.
Well, you know more about that, right?
Well, it's been running low, but can't exactly say why, because the cost of paper was up. But in I guess it was 2022, I literally gasped when I saw the bill. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was a misprint,
In 22?
2022.
Well, this is 2026. This is an odd year too, so
Mhm.
it's not the.
2022 was almost 10,000.
Well, and with this kind of thing, expenditures are no different than revenue. If you cut it too short, it still costs what it costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you got to find it somewhere else to pay.
Well, you cut the one there. Let's leave the rest go. Just
Okay.
give a little cushion.
Okay, 14 and 15, we don't, or, excuse me, 415 and 416, we don't need. 417. So that was an increase of 11,000, most of that was salaries except for travel,
And Eileen's salary does get reimbursed by non-voting portion. That
which we
increases.
also do need to clarify, are you coming totally out of 911?
Well,
And
that's-
what your percentage of the retirement, because I need to do that retirement percentage
Yeah,
also.
I've got it written down here to discuss after we get.
Okay. 419 was an increase of 3,253. Again, that was salaries and insurance. 424 was an increase of 18,000, most of that was utilities.
Right.
We increased the courthouse utilities, and we also
Increased it to
and
40
material
to
supplies.
40,000.
Yeah, so that 425 was actually a decrease of 86,000, and that's where we cut down the professional services. But that was because of the building improvement projects and not knowing what we needed.
If you,
Backing up for
so
what?
if you back up there to the courthouse materials, you raised it $5,000. Could we leave that?
We go through paper products like.
I know that.
Now,
The courthouse utilities, you think the courthouse utilities will jump up?
Yes.
$10,000?
Yes.
Unless we
There's
get
no
that
other
heating and air
utilities.
conditioning thing
Yeah,
figured
like
out.
we were talking about with the elevator,
Mhm.
with the new waiting room and all of that.
Okay,
The biggest thing is working out all this AC and heating units.
Yeah.
and I,
Working against each other.
when I have these
He's got
bills, I
the-
need to put them into an Excel sheet and look to see the usage difference in trends.
well, there's.
We were over there, at the Wednesday meeting, one room was cold, the other one was producing heat, so.
The judicial annex utilities, you think that needs about 14,000?
Yeah, I think that one might be under.
You think?
Yeah, we're already over, I mean, you're looking at what we've
Yeah.
already spent.
I'm not even looking.
We added
at
10,000
that.
square feet to that building.
Yeah.
Depressing.
And I'm still trying to figure out the units, and I swear I turned my AC down. And my room gets hotter and the other room gets cooler, so we're trying to figure out like what each thermostat, how it actually is working.
Everybody's fighting against everybody, it seems like.
That's what it sounds like, whole systems fighting against each other.
So I've been going around making sure they're all set the same. If I set them all the same and kind of see where they go from there. But then like it got warm that one day and picks up the outside temperature. And our room was so cold because it warmed up outside. Now, I never changed the thermostats inside, but it was picking up the outside temperature because it monitors that too.
Mhm.
And it was, I mean, everybody was, even I was cold in there. That's how, like, geez, oh Pete.
I've got to get with Steve next.
We're,
yeah,
going to see if we can turn off the automatic, so he chooses heat during September 1st. And then AC June 1st or whatever, it just,
Yeah.
right now it's.
So,
It's
yeah,
automatic.
so you put it in auto, then you end up with one thermostat fighting the other. If you put all of them in heat, then if it needs heat, it's gonna call for heat.
Yeah,
And
we
if you
did.
put them all in air conditioning, then if it needs air, then it'll
We actually put our
turn on the air.
up because it was running constantly, trying to run air conditioner and heat at the same
Right.
time because
And that's what
different
I said,
thermostats were, different
ours
zones were on, one's
with
on
the
heat, one's on air.
assessors too, or how they're all
And it,
doing.
it ran constantly and then our electric bill for our building jumped from like $800 a month to $1,500 a month. because the heat pump never shut off and the air conditioner never shut off, because it was fighting itself.
We're,
So we had to go through and lock every thermostat on heat the whole winter, and then in the summer it's all cool. I think it need different temperatures, but you just same setting.
When you get down to 450 and 448, down through there, it's went down anyway. All but the county planner, and it's just a step up, what little bit it costs for a step up.
yeah, the federal grants and the state grants, we just make our revenues match whatever they are, so if we change 442 or 443, we need to reflect the revenue side to match. So that's a balance in, balance out. Yeah, and the annex here, 448's been less because that was, we budgeted for the roof last year. The county clerk's office, that's less because that's a carryover balance. Transfer from other funds, that did increase, but that's the payment for the loan. So then, yes, we flipped to law enforcement. It's an increase of $336,000.
That's
Look,
what,
that's almost our whole deficit.
It's almost our whole deficit. So that's what I was kind of skipping over, because I knew this is kind of where you're gonna have your most of your discussion. I did in this figure that you have here, that is for the 18 positions.
So I think we need to budget for 16. And honestly, the other 30,000 they want for the raises and the different things. I think we need to hold off on that as well. That's my opinion.
and, yeah, and I think we need to cut back that overtime again.
When I went to the meeting with the retirement board, I was there with Hancock County's OEM 911 director. And we were talking about sheriff's offices. His sheriff's office has 32 deputies for a county definitely half the size, but with 2,000 more people. And their city police has 48 units. And they still have this overtime discussion with their commission on a very regular basis, because it does matter. Hancock, up in the,
Yeah.
They have 32.
they have 32 deputies. Now, that includes their pros and stuff, but they have 32 and they still have issues with it.
Because you always have the holidays, you always have court,
Well, they
you
got,
always have carryovers for DUIs and domestics
well,
and.
now the court, if it's clear the way Charlie said, that's gonna cut down on some overtime. Cause you got one guy gonna be doing all the testifying.
Well, that, and grand jury, but when you actually have court, then the officer that handled the,
Well, he's trying to get it like it was in Hampshire County.
well, on grand jury, they do have one officer come in. They do have, and they've been doing that for years, actually.
But
They've been
he's
doing that
trying
for
to get
years.
just the one to do it all.
Right, but when you have a murder investigation,
Well,
the
you'll have to
officer
bring
that
a
was
couple,
there is
yeah.
gonna be in.
You probably will.
So,
But
but
let's
for grand
cut-
jury, one officer comes in.
Let's cut the overtime back here some.
So my point on that was that I am never going to tell you not to hire more law enforcement officers. I would never say that, because what they do is important. However, I also would never believe anyone who comes in here and tells you it's gonna reduce overtime.
Right.
That's my point on that. Like, I'm not telling you not to hire 2 more deputies, but I am telling you
can't
that
see it.
to think overtime's going to go down. In
Right.
theory, it will, but in practice, it
It
will not.
won't. Well, that's what we was told. I don't know if you was here then, but we was told that.
Yeah. Cause you get spoiled by having this number.
2000.
Jeremy Taylor said that.
So,
I didn't.
Here's my take on it. We've been running with 14 for many years now. Now he's cutting up to where he's gonna be 16. With the new hopeful,
If nobody leaves.
be 16, he'll have 16 deputies. And let's run with that first and see how that goes before we go ahead and agree to get 2 more. Cause then now if you get 2 more, then you're looking at 4, and that's a whole nother squad. So I think just do the 16, and for right now,
I agree.
I agree with you, but 2018, their overtime budget was 120,000. How many employees did they have then?
They only had about 14, wasn't it? 12 or 14.
And that also included a holiday, but that,
Yeah,
But
We
the
didn't have-
pay was a lot less.
it was a lot
Oh,
less.
they've
Oh,
probably gotten at least, what, 10 to 15 increase since
Oh,
then?
at least more.
911 has got 14 in the last 8
They've got at
years.
least
So
15.
the sheriff's
Well, they got
office
just
might
8
want
last
that.
year, so.
15 to 20,000, I'd say.
Okay.
I want to say deputies were like 32 when I started, so.
Yeah,
What
Now their
is that?
starting pay is 40.
it's
yeah,
50.
48 until certified is 50.
That law enforcement hourly, is that for the him and, or Tom and?
The 57, that's for the Tom and Karen and Dana.
Okay, I thought it
What's
was.
happening?
Then the 100,000 is just overtime, that's,
Just cut that back to 75.
Okay.
Hampshire County don't have that much.
I'm sorry.
What?
1 hour.
I think we're just going to coming back and raising it up again.
I thought the part-time person was supposed to fill in while Tom is ill, not be a permanent, another position
well, I
for
think the
them.
discussion is also that Tom and Karen, one of them may be talking about retiring, so
Okay.
learning the
I'll be
position.
surprised if Tom don't retire. He's,
I think that might have been part of the discussion, of having somebody trained,
So you're looking at line 103, is that sure?
yes,
Okay.
because you're looking, they do NCIC and all that kind of stuff they have to.
Right,
The canine training, the holiday and the events, that's pretty much what it does cost for those items. All the other odd stuff falls under canine, or falls under overtime.
So Dutch, you're saying keep the overtime where it is and let's see how it goes with P16.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but go ahead and not budget for the additional 2. Go ahead and remove that from
Yeah,
the
take
salaries.
that, and that would be 150,000, right?
Yeah, cause I budgeted 75,000 for each officer with the 50,000 and then the benefits. So,
Does that also include their, what Joel said, taking the one,
that would
the
be cut.
17 goes towards the eight?
no, that, I just budgeted 75,000 for a new officer, and that's not even getting them uniforms and everything else.
So that's what I'm saying. If we don't hire them to, that'll cut down on holiday pay.
Well, and if he doesn't hire those two, because he would find 18 rifles, 18 shotguns, and he only have to buy 16, but you should always have a spare then
You should
too.
always have a
You should
spare.
always have a spare, but I don't know when he hired, when he ordered those, if he was considering, that in play also. But then the increase for, there's 2 different things, they're requesting the increase in the ranks be that percentage raise.
Right.
That was their request. The kicker to that is the officers that are currently there, the ones being promoted will actually make more than them because of that increase. So the 29,000 was to bring the other officers up, but then also asking for those, instead of the 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, would actually be the 2, 4, 8, 10, and 12%. And that's when the base pay. So the years, as the years go up, when an officer takes on the responsibility of a supervisory position, say, oh, here's $1,000 for taking all of this extra on your shoulders. And even want to clear up the captain and the responsibilities they have, and the fact that even when their days off, they don't get a day off, their phones ring all the time. They have people knocking on their door all the time. And make life or death decisions all the time.
All right, so what do you guys think? What do you think about the salary? Just do the 16, or do you guys think we need to do the 18?
People,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to cut someplace. And $150,000 looking pretty good.
It's gonna go up, else, gonna be used elsewhere anyway.
I think it makes sense to cut it for now, and then
Yeah.
next
We
year,
can always see what our carryover is.
yeah,
And if our carryover is a lot better, then we could revisit that.
well, in the county's budget overall, next fiscal year should kind of stabilize with expenditures as far as like, we'll know where utilities are, we won't have hidden pop out construction costs. We'll be in our regular payment, all that stuff we take care of in the next budget cycle. You'll see
So,
exactly
yeah.
where we are.
So that's my whole take is, as far as any raises, any increase in, any more increases in employees, like here from 16 to 18. And even the increases in percentage for the ranks. Hold off on all that until
at least until we see what kind of carryover we wanna have, because we already see where we're at on the budget. And I would like to see what the carryover, once we get the final number of the carryover, July or whatever it is, August, July. Whenever we get that final number, and then we can revisit the raises, that kind of stuff.
And that means with across the board raises for all employees as
Yeah.
well.
Possibly. But now, if we, how much are we gonna need? What did you say?
Right now, we're 383.
383. Now, here's my thing too, if we, and we could revisit this, if we cut the overtime 25,000. I'm dead on that, I'm telling you right now, because I've talked to the other counties a lot.
I know, I have too.
I've talked to them, and if we could cut that, we could always revisit that, but we gotta balance the budget, right?
But when, now that once the lauder gets through the academy too, and they talk about Boone's helping, you know, covering these shifts, when you are short on officers, and Lord forbid we lose more officers to go to other departments or whatever, then the ones that are filling it are pretty much JJ and Roger and them. It costs more for them to fill that
Work
vacancy than
overtime.
it does to have a new officer. So your overtime,
I'm just wanting to balance the budget, we can revisit this in July.
you're just gonna add more to, probably have to add more to that. But if you guys make the decision, just let me know, I'm just filling in the blank.
Whatever you guys think, if you don't wanna do it, don't do it, but
I think we cut out the 2 deputies, the 17 and 18 deputy and keep the overtime where it is.
we're still not half there, but.
We're
With
not-
this too, Roger, I have the 18 officers, so the retirement
Retirement will go down.
and the
everything
social
will go down.
security will
And-
go down.
And your overtime,
Insurance is gonna stay.
your,
Oh no, the insurance will actually drop too, because that's
Yeah,
another
insurance will drop.
24, yes.
I was gonna ask you, I meant to ask you
Your
earlier,
retirement
you have
drop.
all that figured into the.
oh, that will. Maybe even your law enforcement telephone, because you're not buying 2 more phones.
Well, I don't know that he figured that in the actual.
I feel like after you cut that 150, 15 out of the tax office, gone through and done some of these other things, you've reduced the deficit by at least 200. Even if you just added 200 carryover, it's not like you're taking a huge,
Right there is something to carry over.
right?
Okay.
They're a quarter of our budget. $2.2 million, quarter of the budget, right? The sheriff's
Yeah.
department.
And I'll tell you,
Oh,
if we
yeah,
keep pulling that out, in a few years, you're not gonna have any in it.
So I'll make those adjustments with that, and then the other request, like, the only other big increase was the law enforcement, utilities. And that really did go from 17,000 to 40,000. And that's based on, I guess, until we get that unit and everything straightened out as to what's going on with it.
Yeah, and I think we'll have to, and that's what I've got these bills and they had talked about. One of us, I'm gonna have to go over there with JJ and Roger and I probably should do it, Roger Reel and I, we'll log into that system and see if we can't manually turn it over to heat, and if not, we'll have to call Roy Ware or something and ask them to come. Show
Who
us.
put that system in, BMEC?
Yeah, but they don't train on it or program it, a train actually came and did it, an engineer from Train actually came and trained us on it.
Is that the same system that's in the? And
The courthouse annex has manual thermostats. Now, they all have a master controller by the unit that can be programmed, but they're just thermostats. They're not, it's not a complex system. Well, it is, but it's not near as complex as the,
okay,
you're not calculating cubic feet of airflow through a tub.
all right.
Civil process was only an increase of 2,000, that was mostly insurance and salary, he only had 200 more in uniform. Regional jail, we left it the same. 7-Eleven, that increase was because of Eileen's salary, because of the way we're paying it now. And 713 left the same, dog with an increase of 8,000, and really, that was mostly,
In all, when will Rick be given a certification that he's gonna be asking for that increase? Is how much do we give on that? Is it, I can't remember, I don't even know if it's notable or not.
What did you say there?
Rick, when he gets his euthanasia certification, he'll always give an increase for that. But I can't remember how much you
I
get,
can't
only
remember
like an hour, or is it? No, for dollars. That's just something to,
I don't think it was really that much.
okay.
What's the extra help?
It's Daniel Miller will fill in, like if she's on vacation, or something's going on. Daniel usually fills in, so we usually just have some money left in there.
Sorry, I just say one word, like you'll just know immediately what that means.
I mean, we've only budgeted 3,500 and mostly it's like if she's on vacation and.
One person,
Okay.
it's hard. I don't know how the person could do
Yeah,
it.
and that's what, just to have somebody else available to help.
Well, a lot of places with animal control, they pay a shelter attendant to come in and clean kennels and do all that stuff. Missy and Rick do absolutely everything.
Everything, so. He gave me a little tour of the place.
Is you the new heating and cooling unit?
I did.
The resource officers, I did ask for a new salary schedule from the Board of Ed, so that may have to go up some, but if I increase it on the expenditure side, I will increase that on the revenue side, so that part will balance out.
No,
Okay,
oh, go ahead.
also on refund for, the opioid money that we agreed to do
For the resource
for
officer?
resource officers, do we need to put that on the revenue side?
We should, yes.
So that'd be 80,000 there,
Mhm.
that you'll get that
Okay,
on the refund side,
okay.
or on the revenue side.
It's up to 160.
Getting some.
I was gonna say the same thing, what Dutch just said.
Yeah. Sorry,
Dutch
didn't
told me
mean to cut you
earlier.
off.
No, that's because you told me earlier. I just know how bad our memories are. We gotta kick off each other.
Yeah,
I will say, on the resource officer also, I did budget for the fourth position.
okay,
So that budget there reflects 4 positions, even though we only have 3 in there right now.
well, we need to get that, thing. We need to figure out, or he needs to figure out somebody to put in there.
You just can't put anybody.
You know, they have to have 2 years
Yeah,
certified.
You gotta be certified with 2 years of service. I don't know who you're gonna get.
So I say resource officer, when I get those numbers from the board, I will have to adjust that some as well,
Okay,
okay? Court security, that increased 59,000 because you did do an additional position there because of the layout of the building, you almost have to.
If their hourly needs to be 15,000,
That's also Nathan Rice.
right, but how much does he really?
He does. Yeah, it varies. If he goes on a longer trip, you know, it could be a couple of days. Some months, some pays he only has 1 day, some pays he may have 5 or 6 days. So it all depends on how much he has to transport.
In the past, it's been as high as 42.
Well, we used to have part-time bailiffs, like
Okay.
Yeah.
Nathan just was, but they actually had bailiffs that were like worked the floor on a regular basis.
Okay.
How much is it in the last?
7,023, 77, oh, 7,700, 2023, 8,500 in 2024.
I mean, if you wanna knock it down to 10,
I mean, that's up to you all, it's just, that's not a whole lot, but I just saw that.
as he was saying right there, it's been 7 or 8, but. Would be any reason for an additional part-time court bailiff once everything's in place?
You're saying take it from 15 to 10?
You know what I'm saying, there may be a 5th bailiff as opposed to just 4.
One thing that's gonna change is currently a bailiff will stay at the top of the steps and work the door, and you won't be able to do that once the courthouse is done. Because you can't work the steps anymore, the steps are, you can't see the body.
So the court security guy brings you second floor. What you're saying.
No, there'll still have to be someone working the door, but on court days, there'll have to be someone upstairs working the waiting room
Yes.
too.
Yes. I would say you might need a 5th officer because you'll have 1 on the 1st floor, 1 on the 2nd floor, and 1 in the courtroom, or 2 in the courtroom.
And we're moving the metal detector and all that stuff over to the new side.
They'll go to the addition, yeah.
The addition, yeah.
yeah, maybe we better just leave it there,
Yeah.
15.
Okay, so we're good with that, 7:30, okay. And then the rest of them, they're same parts, I did increase that to 7,000, that was because of the increase, and you want to put that revenue in there too.
Was that for her salary?
Yeah.
Now, you know that we're gonna get $5,000 reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he, Luke asked if I added that 5,000 in there, and I added it in the expenditure side, I did not add it in the revenue side.
So what's that total? That's 5,000 total.
Yes.
Law enforcement equipment, they're 240,000. All their cruisers will be paid off, right?
Then we have 2 years, not 2 full years, it's gonna finish this fiscal year and then it goes into part of the next fiscal year.
Okay.
So we still had this whole fiscal year. And then I can't remember what your all's agreement is with purchasing. Is this a one
I
year?
feel like it was 4 every other year, it's just what we decided, we weren't gonna do the 1 anymore. No, we did, we ordered 1. That when I was at Stonewall, Roger called and asked about that 1. So it's 4 1 year and 1 the next, 4 1, 4 1.
What line are you on that, Luke?
It's a great question.
001,980,
Yeah, 90.
4,900, where it says negative 192, and that's what, we didn't budget that much for last year's. We added 282,000 after we had our carryover. So that's where it says 432,000 for the current budget year. After we got our carryover, we put another 282,000 in there to buy the vehicles outright and to equip them. So that's why there's money in there right now that he's gonna be using for the rifles, the guns, is because we use that carryover money in there to make sure we allotted for the vehicle purchase plus the equipment, the lights, the sirens, the wraps, everything.
So do they need 240,000 under this? Because they're only getting 1 cruiser, that's what's been ordered for next fiscal year.
Well, they wouldn't need it.
I just don't know what else is coming out of there.
Truthfully,
All the guns
okay,
will
we
be
got,
purchased.
okay,
The only other,
60,000 for the tasers.
Yeah.
Or
All
was
the
it
body
40,000 for the
camera.
tasers, 22, no, 22 is the other one. We got the tasers, we got the body cams,
The body cams and the in-car camera are the same contract, right?
yes,
Okay,
and that must have been the 60,000.
so those 2 plus payments on cars.
And the the tasers, and the tasers were 30, I think, maybe.
I mean,
And then the payment, if our current, we're looking at. Right, like 50,000. For the lease for the 1 car, and then, so,
does ammo and stuff come out of this line item?
no,
This is capital assets that
Capital,
depreciate.
Just reading that, right? That's good.
It's anything that depreciates, we purchase out.
I was in a hurry, I didn't grab all my budget stuff.
Well, I was just trying to think when we're
Well,
looking
no,
at big
I need
numbers.
my numbers, they're like on my
Right, yeah.
counter, because I have all this spelled out. Cause something was at the one contract I think was 60,000, I think the other one was 30. And then,
The body cameras would be about 260, because I remember they were $250,000 over 5 years. And then in 5 years, we got new ones.
I think that was the $60,000
Yes,
payment.
that sounds.
And then the tasers must have been the 30,000. And then,
How many more years do we have left on tasers? Because I know Chris just said the other day, it's time to
oh,
replace
we're
them.
renewing them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we're renewing them. So we got about 55 for the lease. So,
Cool,
All right.
yeah. Thank you. Okay.
that's 118, and then if we do buy a cruiser, wait a minute, that's not of zeros.
What is
That's
cruising
140.
now, 50?
That's 140, and then if we do buy a cruiser and outfit it,
You're back up to 240,000.
240.
You said you're at 140,
I'm at 145 just with the lease, the tasers and the body cams.
It will cost $95,000 to.
To buy
I
it
think
and
the cruiser's about
outfit it.
50.
No, I can't remember, I think it's
Depends on what they feel like doing, but I think 20.
So if we took it down to 200,000 instead of 240.
Are my rates of the cruisers are 50 now?
I'm
They used
thinking
to be
around
like low
50.
40s.
48.
Yeah, I was thinking
Okay.
around 50, yeah.
Okay,
48 or 52.
and then about 20 to outfit one?
Oh, no.
I was thinking 17, but it might be, we budget 20 probably.
So if we took it down to 200,000,
Yeah, we'd be safe.
we'd be safe, don't you think?
Yeah, one would make it 60.
Missing 30,000 for some reason. But do we still have partial lease?
Well, that's what you just said, that we have a payment left and something, but did you
We
have?
have, I know we have a little over a year on one, but then I can't remember if we have a second one. Oh, wow. Cause that's at 215.
Oh, I'm like, who's talking? Man's nuts.
I am.
Or something.
There's a reason I came up with 240.
Let's take a chair.
Okay, so you think the 240 is out?
So we're at 215 right now. Okay, you said one, 215 currently.
215 with the one lease, the body cams, the one cruiser and the camp and the taser. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Cause there's another 30,000.
Right.
So, unless you wanna knock it down.
I believe it works out the way you're going.
So it actually. So we've knocked off 170,000 in expenditures. And we've added 85,000 to the revenue. So that gets us about 250.
Wait, you added 69, what else you have for revenues?
The 80,000 of the pros,
64,
what?
64 for pros.
We approved 80,000 to reimburse pros.
I thought it was reimbursing half the salary,
Salary for each one,
salary and benefits for,
Up to 80.
up to $80,000.
so one officer is 64 with salary and benefits.
Okay, I didn't
So
know that.
half of that would be
Depends on
still
when they,
64.
so,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so
I
that's
mean, I can
64.
put 80, if you're gonna do it.
Well, the committee approved it.
We approved it. Yeah, the commission approved up to 80,000,
I don't
so.
remember the dollar, I mean, I remember half salary and benefits.
Yeah, half salary benefits, and it was up to $80,000.
And then,
Now, I don't know, now written
Oh.
on that, but I'm still waiting on the board to give me the new salaries.
Did you
So,
get that FOIA request in regards to the opioid funding?
yeah,
Okay.
so, and I'm thinking new officers are at 65, the older officers are at 70.
What were they wanting? Just what we,
All the expenditures and there was a bunch of stuff in it.
who requested that?
Wait a minute, I'll tell you, Doctor,
That's Dr. Best?
No. This is that's not this one.
And I think they're asking for other counties as well.
He did too, because he called me,
You didn't put in a FOIA for it. That's not
and
just.
I couldn't get back with him, and I called Quinn, and he was
So you
gonna have
had
the meeting,
the-
and told him,
the
tell him to get
pros.
Charlene.
And maybe we should
For all the
write what
opioid
70
stuff?
then, because
No,
the higher
that's-
officers are
No,
69.
I wouldn't talk about that, I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
depending on
request.
what
again.
officers you're.
Yeah, I'm talking about
rehiring
the
for.
Oh, okay.
So,
and don't forget the 5,000.
and then
for-
5,000 for park, so that's 75,000 in revenues.
So where are we at?
And then I have nothing in,
What about Sarah's house?
That's 6,000.
I know, but it's not.
we don't have any money. I mean, we haven't discussed the ones we've been supporting.
I'm gonna say this to you about Sarah's house, all the other counties going with it. They're coming up.
This
money
is this,
to connect to all the other counties, so whatever you got.
Hey. Yeah, she is, one of these watch groups.
Okay, I just had Lauren because she doesn't avoid it stuff.
One of these watch groups for
Yeah, because we actually have to go through with the outside agencies. The Potomac Valley Conservation District, you've been given 20,000 for flood control. Did you want to continue that? Increase any or stay?
Where we at?
Last page.
Well, they,
They need it, yeah.
Yeah, I will
Four
leave
H camp, we've been doing 45. Did you want to continue with 45?
yeah.
I
They never came and asked for any more, did
I don't think flood control is optional. I
Not
think that's
really.
actually a state
I do
mandate
too.
number.
It is, they really like a lot more.
Right,
The Landmarks Commission, I know he wasn't able to attend himself. He was trying to get somebody able to come in his place. I guess nobody stepped up, but
Is that the historic?
yeah, the Historical Landmarks Commission, that's a commission set by the county commission. They've been working, currently they've been working on the Headsville Church. The commission's previous contributions have helped with the roof and the bell. And, let's see, the
It
shutter,
was 1,500.
I think it was.
shutters,
It
yeah.
was 1,500 before, then last
Yeah,
year.
one year we gave them 15, I think that was year for the roof.
They had extra expense for something, we give them a little extra.
20, yeah.
Also, this
$1,000 is not bad.
Tucker Community Foundation, we were doing 1,000, we went up to 15. Did you want to do any more for them?
No.
Okay. The Library for Piedmont.
I don't think we can up any of them.
Right now, I'm kind of, Development Center at 5,
Yeah, legal vote.
Family Crisis Center to 7,
So,
Resource Network at 7. Aging and Family Services, they were asking more for Meals on Wheels. They're currently at 7.
yeah, leaving 7.
Public Transit at 5. And then we just, whatever balance we have left in there is where I put under courthouse equipment. Back up a page. Into. Guys. So yeah, we backed up a page, the top of your page should say Visitor Bureau at the top. Have that, the second to last page.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to continue the $9,000 to the Visitor Bureau for towards rent?
They needed it. Do they need it?
they don't even come and ask. But I don't know what
They
their
haven't,
finances
I
are
mean-
like. with
I meant to call her and ask her about that, and I forgot to. Oh, we're supposed to have a meeting, they canceled the meeting, that's what happened,
So, did you say 5,000 visitors?
9,000.
9,000.
The 50,000, and we balance with the revenues, whatever we put hotel motel, we
Okay,
balance out the Visitor Bureau contribution.
so what,
But the 56601 9,000, that's something we've only been doing for a couple years to help them with rent.
2023, yeah.
Yes, and that was truthfully, I don't know why we
Yeah,
started.
let's leave it, let's just leave it at 9,000, let me get hold of her and
I,
we'll find out about. And we'll find out, because they're gonna be moving, well, I guess whenever development authority gets that done with the hospital and stuff. That could be moving around anyway, so let me look into that.
yeah,
Okay.
I would say we scratch it,
Or knock it down and even.
but once Dutch talks to them,
Yeah.
Kaiser Library at 56,
Yeah.
that's Kaiser, Burlington and Fort Ashby combined. Now the development center's underneath, and actually that's all the outside contributions then.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with Sarasota?
I don't know, I say, should you recuse yourself since it's Dawn here asking for it, or?
That's up to you guys what you do with it. I wasn't gonna get involved with it. I just asked.
where are we at before we have that discussion as far as over? Are we,
Oh, we don't have enough to go.
We're gonna add to revenues the carryover to balance it.
Yeah.
technically, you're not if we start discussing it, you're not even supposed to. be
Well,
in there.
technically, since they live in a different household, I got it in writing, yes, I can be. But I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna leave the room, but you guys, it's up to you guys.
And there's no financial benefits at all, and it's not.
No, it's not
like
about-
the section of.
She didn't ask, by the way, she did not ask who, what's her name to do.
Okay. My opinion is that I realize that my revenue is on exactly where they need to be, but, we've got some agencies in the county that do really important work, and they are one of them. And based on my experiences, they are fantastic in the mental health services they are providing. My kids have utilized and are second to none. And if they are in need of those funds and there is a risk that some of those services may dissipate because of $6,000, that the county can contribute. I think that, we'd be making a mistake to not make that contribution because they're an extremely important part of our community.
That's why I was asking what Burlington
Child
United
advocacy
Methodist,
center.
how much their budget
yeah.
was, because they're a branch of
Yeah.
the Burlington United Methodist Family Services, so I'm sure their budgets.
So Burlington's budget's around 22 to 24 million. However, their agency as a whole is in,
Their
based
budget's
on-
3 times more than,
however, they're running their deficit monthly is what ours is for the year. They're running a major deficit.
How many kids they have down there, you know?
It's a state, and $22 million isn't that much when you're looking at serving 55 counties.
How many kids do they keep down in Burlington, you know?
I don't know.
Is that just the one facility?
No, that's all of their facilities. That's Martinsburg.
Oh, That's
that's-
all over the United.
Beckley.
Right. Because they have group homes in all of those locations, not counting foster care workers that,
My daughter.
right, yes, Megan was my worker.
See, all they
Megan's
pay
another
for
town.
Sarah's house and Brenda's house is they pay the salaries and that's it, right?
It said it pays for the mental health services for the trauma
For the
based.
professional services. They might not even be working for Sarah House and pay for that.
Right.
well then too, it's your argument. It benefits your children, so you shouldn't be in that conversation
It
either.
doesn't benefit them anymore, they're all adopted, but. I can
My
tell you,
daughter worked for them as well.
Yeah.
As far as,
his daughter was my social
I
worker.
just now thought of that just now.
What's your
So it leaves it down to me then.
What's your intentions? I just need to know to put it in or not put it in.
I think it's $6 grand, it's not like we're talking.
Well,
$200,000.
all the other counties are doing it. That's the one thing. It's the investment from all the.
I don't see how you could go away from something that's gonna be there to support and advocate for children. I mean, that's,
So we're trying to balance
children's your
the
next, I mean, children's your next generation of everything.
Now, what I can do is see if we have a carryover in coal. And if there is, to take it out of coal instead of general county.
Yep.
And then I'll take it out of 950 social services. I'll just add another line item under that.
Cause if they're, here's the thing, if their grants wouldn't be cut, maybe next year they wouldn't need that.
Okay, so is
I
somebody
don't
making
know.
that motion to add that in or?
I'll make a motion to add that in. You need a second, even though my daughter works for them?
There's no financial, there's not
Yeah,
a
she gets no
pecuniary
financial
interest in
gain.
this.
Is it yours?
I seconded,
So I will try and check with coal and see if we can squeeze it out of coal. And like I said, if we can't, then we'll just have to squeeze out general county.
Yeah, general.
So then with those changes, with the knocking the part-time person out of the tax office. Knocking. Wait a minute, I missed one, didn't I?
We've missed two, if you missed something else.
Okay, 404. So 1,500 out of tax office. And then under 413, we took 5,000 out of 413. We more or less knocked out 75,000 off the sheriff. For the two positions,
Yeah. How much?
75,000,
150,000.
it's two positions, sorry.
And what did you all decide about the
Well, that's
HRA?
what that's why I put that up
Okay,
here.
wait a minute, what else?
Well,
And then was
I'm
that,
not done.
okay, that was all the adjustments we made line for line. And then, yes, the HRA. The revenues, we like those couple things in. There's no increase in salaries other than the steps that was approved, correct? Okay. So then HRA. Which. Because there probably will not be an across the board raise, I mean, even after the carryover, in all honesty. Not with this,
I don't know how.
not with this improvement project going on.
I don't know how they can be.
So keeping that in mind with the deductibles, I mean, and I will pass this on, the employees have been pleased with the insurance change and they've really.
Now, how much is this gonna
I've heard
cost
good
us?
things with an additional $83,000.
So this is the current cost when they were
Right.
here the other day.
That's if they use it entirely.
Right.
Which they have
They
not.
have
Worst case scenario, this is the middle ground, what it would cost to fund this amount of deductible to. This is the high end, if you fund the full amounts of deductibles, again, worst case scenario, that's your cost.
So if we leave it here. How much is it going up?
It won't, it's gonna be what Warren has in the budget now, however, employees are gonna be responsible for a $1,300 deductible as a family or
$600,
or a $600 as a single.
$675 single,
It would put a pretty heavy financial. burden on anyone.
$1350 on the.
I hate to do that to them. Get raised.
You're looking at a $87,000 difference.
My opinion is at the very least, you need to increase it to the middle one. Cause you're talking a pretty heavy financial burden on anyone with medical difficulties.
They're already in medical situations that are already costs that actually that doesn't cover anyway.
And here's my take on it. We are talking about an $80,000 increase as far as budgeting. But if past case or what's been going on, they've only been using half of it anyway, right?
Yeah.
They've only been using half the HRA, so we're looking at a 40,000 increase as opposed to an 80.
Approximately 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. About, that's all you're looking at, it's probably 50,000, 52,000.
And I've already made my stance and made my speech about not doing any raises for right now, but I would be in favor of doing the full HRA.
You're looking at full way too, or a
Yeah.
option B.
The 45-50 family, covering the full.
52,000. What you're looking at, increase.
Yeah.
And even that one is still a pretty decent savings compared to if we were on Plan B.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're
There's no
still saving money.
deductible tonight.
Still saving money if we was on Plan B, and that wouldn't even cover the HRA, or cover the deductibles, I mean.
Yeah.
So we're still saving money.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Plan on that, or with that 80,000 on.
Yeah. Well, I turned 52. Turned 52.
52, whatever it is.
You know, make that as a motion or to go?
Make that motion.
I'll approve that.
So I'll work,
Now, when
This
you
back
planning on
in-
setting up another date?
You're gonna check on the cold.
check on the coal. Doing the full 6,000 for Sarah's, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's assessed to get out of 950. Track coal, we might be able to do in our coal, and then it really won't be that much. Of an impact on our budget.
So you're gonna set up another work there? I need to know now. I'm
And it
gonna call
worked
her.
out.
Well, that's what I gotta call her to get my calendar. It's at the house. The one I have.
I was in such a hurry, I didn't grab my pocketbook or anything, I just took off.
My speech on the budget is always that people pay taxes for us to provide services. They don't pay taxes so that we can assess them or collect them, or they pay taxes so that police show up at their door and so that kids get the care they need. And I think at the very least, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is providing services to people as a whole purpose of paying taxes, not just simply to exist.
What,
when you hear these agencies come in, what they do with that little bit that we give them.
Yeah. What do you? Let me call her, I'll give you a. There she is.
So you're saying we need to meet one more time before Tuesday? Is that what I'm hearing you guys
It's
say?
4 o'clock right now. What's your schedule like right now?
I can do that.
I have a meeting at 6:30. Well,
Hey, go in there.
What time
Look
do you
at
have
my
to be
little
back?
calendar laying on my
I
desk.
gotta leave here by 5 o'clock.
Okay,
It's on, to your right. It's
if
about
I
1
run up
o'clock.
there right now. Readjust these salaries, readjust these. Might be okay.
You don't have to run it even more.
Well, I was gonna try to make sure to run.
Yeah, it'll be March.
Want me to drive you over?
What's on for the rest of this week?
Because that's more or less what we're just gonna add to that carryover, really.
Well, they can look at those bills while you're gone.
Thursday.
I'll go get cake for it.
And my, what's
Oh,
Wednesday?
this will make me
When's
happy
my
too,
golf?
for this time
Wednesday?
sheets.
Oh, yeah.
What time?
Haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, I know, but I know it's Wednesday. What,
And with
what
the
time?
move, we kinda got them kind of hospital.
7.
Well, actually, no,
I
they-
violate update, just so you all know.
9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, my granddaughter.
9 o'clock, okay.
I
So
can
that's
picture
Wednesday, right?
Possibly.
All right, now Thursday, I'm
All right.
for a golf day. Friday, I got a 10 and a 10:30, right? Yeah, okay, so we could do it in the, where do I go? Where do I go Friday for the doctor?
I guess.
Okay, so that I could, okay.
Are we in recess?
Well, just while we're doing the bill.
You sat down beside me.
You're in recording.
I am.
What's your schedule? Wednesday. I could do it 1 o'clock.
30 seconds.
Tuesday, we have a meeting.
And tomorrow I'm booked solid.
No, Tuesday.
Wednesday I'm booked solid.
Rush can do it.
Thursday I got some time in the morning. Like 8, 9.
I'm here like 8. 15, like half an hour.
That's a for sure thing. We could just go to my office while I'm on.
Yeah, we could. Is it in this building or is it somewhere else?
Oh, yeah, I guess not everybody. I was just assuming people are super familiar with this building.
No, listen, I can't even get out of this building, right?
We've already done the reading.
We're done this building project. I know we need to put it on the next agenda, but I need to update you guys on what we decided on the electric, outside electric on the courthouse. That way it's a matter of record.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just need to make sure Lauren gets it on there.
What electric's in?
I'm running that electric on the outside of the courthouse for like festivals,
Oh,
strawberry. There was no plan for it.
how much is that?
Well, to run the chase before they drywall it in, it's gonna be $500. So we ran the chase, but the wiring hasn't been run to the outside yet of the building. But we have the capability to do that.
Harder and harder to maintain the budget, I'm telling you. Did you buy any eggs or anything out there the other night?
No way.
Huh? You didn't
How
buy-
much they go for?
I think the cheapest ones were three,
So-
oh, the 175 one. There was one that was one of the most,
Okay.
that were 300.
Yeah, 250 and up.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now, I helped with the parking and and then selling things.
I wanted to go to it, I just couldn't get there. What's Colby?
I think he's wanting us to come up with money for next year's ambulance authority.
Yeah.
Using Go Dutch.
What does Dr. Best want to know about or the opioid money?
He wanted to, he didn't really want to know about the opioid money. He wanted a copy. That's what I thought Luke was talking about. He wanted a copy. He called me about a copy of the minutes that was recorded down at that meeting. And I said, oh, I don't know where you get it from. And Colby told me I have to go through Eileen. So I couldn't get a hold of him. So the other day, I talked to Chris Gwynn, and I told him, he said, I'm gonna see him sitting. I said, well, tell him. So that's where that comes through. So I don't know what you, I don't want nothing in it.
Yeah, Eileen, or I talked to him today and she sent him a copy of the minutes, so it was written minutes, not the recording.
He wants to, it was told it was recorded.
Well, then when Luke said that it wasn't official, my understanding is that it was deleted. Huh?
That,
No, it don't.
I thought it was an official meeting.
Well,
dude. See, I'm gonna tell you something.
the recording went, the meeting was official, but the recording was not official.
And it is hard to put your initial when the stack is really thick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't even look like my initial.
Don't worry about it. I don't care. I asked Cindy about making them look like spreadsheet on, she said that'd take a lot more work.
Just have one
What,
spreadsheet.
put these on a spreadsheet?
Well, yeah, she said that'd take more work. I asked her if she could put it on like a sheet where we could use it. And then she said, you're looking at a lot more work, so. It's that in for sure.
Because once the spreadsheet's done, you just gotta change the numbers. Once you got pretty much everything's consistent,
Or if I don't know,
especially the payroll here.
I find it hard to believe that the system we have can't be converted over into a spreadsheet format. So that every item, and evidently the auditor's office has something, so that it can be.
She didn't say it couldn't be, she just said it'd make a lot more work on her. I didn't say it couldn't be, so I don't know, you have to talk to her about it. I asked her about it, and
Well, we want to get on that open checkbook and. It needs to be in a spreadsheet, so.
the more I think about this, I think this is old school anyway, right here.
Well, that's why I got to say the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. I think this is old school.
what I'd like is for us to each have a monitor in front of us. And then we could see these numbers. I mean, the amount of money that's right here in all these spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Now, some of this is reimbursed to us.
Yeah, but like all this right here, all this printing.
Well, that
All
would
the
save a
money
lot
in
of money.
paper that's here.
Oh, yeah. I'll talk to Charlie about our, grievance filing by the one employee. Yet,
Who found the agree?
when we.
Bridget?
Oh, Bridget, that's right.
Crap, we're recording. I forgot about that. I'll just say that. Whoops. Bridget.
This one says, please sign here. What is this one? Jessica wrote.
Man. Right, it's kind of hard to get to the bottom of the stack here, isn't it?
See, right here's what bothers me. $2,384 in
Mhm.
jail. Electric bill.
Mhm.
I'm telling you that unit is not, I mean, we all know it's not working right.
Yeah. Yeah, something ain't right there.
Can't believe that building made it through without having to have a sprinkler system.
Well, there's nothing can run upstairs. Is what he was saying over there the other day.
Yeah,
You heard him talk.
yeah, good.
But I'm like you, I'm surprised there's not a sprinkler system in there for the damage of the paper and everything in there,
Yeah,
you
so
know, for the contents.
I'm jealous I won't be able to be there on the 27th,
What's your concept?
the demonstration of the guns.
I don't, I'm gonna be there either. You know, laid up.
Might be laid up. What are you doing? Go after was.
What's wrong? I said, what's wrong?
Look, I really don't know until I talk to Bob. So.
23,000. This 12,000, that's the annex. That's
I don't get that electrical.
Is that this building? When it says annex. That is 107 Mineral Street. That's this building? Oh,
No, this is,
not 12,000. Not, I saw 12,000, but it's 1,200. This is building address.
I don't think that's this one. This is no, what, 60 something.
this is like 60 or 68, isn't it?
West 68.
I think, something like that.
That sounds right. 68, you're right.
This is 107
Mineral Street.
Could that be the courthouse?
No, Mineral Street.
Yeah.
1200.
Minerals.
107 West. Oh, West Street, sorry.
Oh, West Street.
Oh, that's the annex.
That's the, yeah.
Well, I don't know what had mineral in my head.
It's either the annex or the old
The old, Barbie.
Everybody's gotta get a piece of the pie, the state auditor's office, gee, 16,000. I gotta have eye surgery. No,
What are you having? You told me about.
no, April, I gotta go to the one doctor and then they'll schedule from there. April 21st, unless they give me an early.
Trouble losing calls in Gallagher, but I've been losing a lot today.
Oh, I've lost like 4. Just while I was talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, that,
You thought we were her over here.
Hmm?
I thought Lauren was back.
I thought I heard somebody.
I thought we heard her voice. You guys done paying bills? Oh, never mind. See, that Roger's moving through them. I'm obviously, you're not.
You know, I don't have time card in there as much.
I need to submit a time sheet for overtime. This, 2 meetings a month is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm having that shit, if we had 4 cars tonight, we're actually. You guys should contact them.
Okay.
I did see that there's a bill advancing that would do CPI based increases for elected officials each year based on the commission's discretion.
Oh, really?
Seems like it's making progress. But it said not I would think it would say not to exceed 2%, but it said not to be less than 2%. So
Not to be less than 2%.
that was mine. Of course, I'm reading it while we're talking through all this
Yeah, right
stuff.
now,
which is where I'm-
legislation's trying to break counties. There's some counties does not have the money.
Well, it's completely the commission's discretion.
Well,
whether or
then
not
my,
they would
I'll
pass
tell
it.
you what my vote is.
But if you look at other elected officials, like. I guess it depends on how they handle the job, but. A lot of them are, like the sheriff, his base salary is substantially less than his captain's. Now he gets a sheriff's commission. His base salary is under what his captain's gonna make. And if you're one of those people who just comes in like, and let your office run itself, you come in once a week or whatever, check in on things, I think it's one thing, but.
I don't think these 3 have a job that they can only check in once a week.
No, but I'm saying, in some counties, like the county clerk, the assessor. And even the sheriff, it's just a check-in, your office runs itself, you have a chief deputy that does the day-to-day. So, cause I know like Berkeley, they just hired a finance director, the finance director makes like 50 grand more than the county clerk.
Who?
Berkeley,
Berkeley's got a little more money.
yeah.
They got a lot more
A
money.
little more money.
A lot more problems too.
Yeah.
More money you've got, the more problems you've got.
Well, they've got what, 4 times the amount of citizens that Mineral County has?
But they have 5 commissioners.
Yeah,
They have 5 commissioners too.
they're actually a county council. Berkeley and Jefferson.
Jeffersonville, yeah.
I'm better than the 3 you guys, I couldn't handle 5.
Can they still go by commissioners though?
Mhm.
The council. of
Three or four
commissioners?
counties has got 5.
I thought it was just 2, Berkeley and Jefferson. Or just Kanawha, does Kanawha have 5?
I think Canal does, don't they?
Kanawha has a whole different form, because they've got a county manager, they don't have an administrator.
What about, I think Mon County has a huge population.
No, actually.
I think they have 3.
They got 3.
So I guess they have a huge population when school's in session, and most of those people aren't citizens in Mon County.
Because Kanawha and Putnam are both, they both have county managers. But I don't know, instead of administrators, I don't know what they're.
I think, yeah, there's only 2 counties that has 5. Cause there's 169 commissioners in the state.
Maybe they are. I was thinking another one had, I was thinking 3.
Oh, hey, got some good news for Rick Hillenbrand today. That $12 million that they got for the fire department service out of, the lottery excess that we're supposed to get is currently not shown being funded in the budget for this next year.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not there. So they're trying to figure out, he's trying to figure out why it's not there and why we won't get it. And what they're gonna do to try and get it back in there. So that's good, because that was like. Oh, total of around $20,000 fire department or 25, something like that.
Are you all in recess till Laurie comes back?
I think we're done. Well, he's still finishing up his.
Well, the other day, the budget hearing, I uploaded a 5.5 hour video to YouTube. So I'm like, trying to pause it when we can, because it's long meetings.
How long did that take to download?
You wouldn't believe.
I don't understand
It takes
the
no
budget
time.
process,
Our
like,
upload speed here is
you
like
know,
100 megs.
Oh, wow.
If you know that there's some flux there and you're not sure what your revenue sort, total for revenue is gonna be. But you think that you're light on your estimate there, but and you have some rollover. Why do you have to balance the budget? Why can't you just say that this is gonna be the budget, this is how much it's gonna cost
Well, you
the
gotta-
county, and the money's gonna come from somewhere when it has to?
Because you look at your projected revenues and they got to match.
Right.
They got to match, and that's why.
And the projected revenues aren't the same, the only, even when Jill gives us the number of how much he's gonna collect in taxes, that's only what people end up paying.
And most of the time, it's above what she puts down. It is.
I would assume that you would always want to project light on revenue.
It is,
Um,
yeah.
But we went really like, this time almost $2 million different, 2.6 million.
Pay my
No,
taxes,
1.6.
I always pay my taxes every year when I get my,
Yeah, I think.
yeah, so I paid it online for the first time ever. And I got that email back, thank you for whatever, well, I got looking at it. $26 of all that money that I paid was all that went to EMS, and I'm just thinking. That's crazy, because fire got more than double that.
The school board gets like 4.
Oh, yeah, the school board got a bunch, but yeah, I don't care for that.
Percent. School board gets 78%.
County didn't get much either, I think county got $15.
County gets.
We get
21%.
Well, you got more than that then.
And then,
And
the state gets 1%.
Because I think I paid it was like $801 and $26 went to
I don't know
EMS.
why the state gets anything.
We gotta pay
Well,
that.
look at
All
your
you
tax.
get is from your income tax.
Look at your tax, income tax, look
Yeah.
at your.
Well, they're trying to do away with that.
Huh?
Sales tax.
Everything you buy, you pay tax on.
Yeah.
I think Mineral
First
County
5
should
months of
be
the
able
year.
to institute a half a penny sales
We can
tax.
go up to a penny.
Well,
No, the county can.
County can.
Cities can.
cities-
They tried to, they've tried for years.
It's up in legislation again this year.
Yeah, it
That's where I'm
is.
getting it from. Yes, it is. That's right.
Yeah, we know what's gonna happen to that.
It's going
It'll
to
get
get
tanked.
tanked. I don't really want to put more tax on people. Had enough.
And you gotta be able to operate there too. It's,
Yeah, but it's, yeah.
the cost of living and operating's went up so much.
I didn't realize that Allegheny County, you pay income taxes to the county as well.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to Rachel, because she doesn't have us withhold her taxes, because she lives in Maryland. And she said monthly, she has to cut a check to Allegheny County government for income taxes and state.
What's it run?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
it's like, well, hey, I paid last year Schmidt for some reason, and I never look at my pay stub, that's my fault, I should. Cause I know that the deposit is the same every week, I'm salary, so I have the same deposit every week, but. Hey, for like 6 weeks, I paid Maryland income tax, I got it all back, when I did my taxes, but.
That would make. Budget at 76. So,
Repeat all that again.
Yeah. So long story short, if you move it up to 1.25 and do the things we talked about, we're balanced.
250.
Yeah,
1,250,000.
yeah, 1.2.
And then, yes, those adjustments and contributions, and that would be 8.4 million. And then the coal, making those couple adjustments in coal, take Sarah's house out of coal. I added Sarah's house under 002, which is coal, 950. In the departments, in the tax office, took out the part-time help. The election took out 5,000, which actually makes my budget negative 3,000 for election. From what it was last year. And then there's adjustments in law enforcement. Taking out the 2 officers, which also took out the retirement and the social security and insurance. So that took 150,000, some 372, something like that off of that. So. With that. Let's say, and under coal, I added 002, 950, 56601, social services, Sarah's house. And then that makes the budget for coal 76,020. Oh, and the HR. I added HR under 419 to 2600. It was, yeah, 001 419 to 2600. Insurance and bonds, added $87,000 to that. So it went from 300,000 to 387,000. So that's included in too. I forget anything?
Where's the HRA at?
001 419 personnel, 419 to 2600. The same line item we pay our workers' comp.
So the 387, that number, is that right?
Yeah, 387,000, I added 87,000 to that.
Oh, there, no, there it is, okay.
Yeah, it
All right,
went
yeah.
from 300,000 to
I was
200.
looking at the stop line, it
Oh.
says 0.
Oh, no,
Okay,
no, we were taking, Kim, yeah, she
so
would,
you have them down under personnel insurance / bonds.
yes. Personnel insurance.
Okay, this says personnel insurance / HRA.
Yeah, Kim set that up, but then she didn't realize we were already taking it out the other.
Okay,
Because the top one was actually just for that employee department thing, so.
okay. Okay,
That figured into the, and then. And you did leave the overtime at 100,000, you did not 25 off.
No.
No, okay, I didn't, when I got up there, I didn't think that
me
would
and
change,
Jason wanted to leave the same, Roger wanted to knock it down.
but then it did adjust the salaries.
The salaries,
How come the
Minus
salaries
two.
be that close to last year? Last year was 922, 868. This year's 922, 629. How could it be that close? It doesn't make sense. It's not. Or no, this says the other two. Oh, no, it says the other two. Huh, that is. That can't be $200 more than what we budgeted last year.
Actually, it's $200 less.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Once you take out that 150. For the two employees,
They were on there last year though.
all they want.
Has there been enough turn in people that you think?
No, he's not our couple people as well.
Pull out the big guns.
Must have just been a budget thing last year, because right now, the current officers we have is only 910,000. 229. Maybe that hit that, maybe I might hit that line item by mistake when I was reading.
Yeah, that's not right either.
No, that's when I cut and pasted.
Yeah,
I cut and pasted yours.
did you?
Okay, so that's, I mean, that's not a huge number, but it is a number.
No, when I cut and pasted, I moved Jerry up and then cut and pasted and then.
Have me on there or not yet?
It does.
Cause I don't even have mine.
Everything, actually, the insurance is questionable here because I need a new report from Kim as to who has it, what coverage, family or not. And she wasn't in today, so I'll have to do that.
So we can still need to fudge a little bit there,
Fudge a little bit
not
here.
really fudge, but maybe that ain't good right word to use for budgeting, but
Adjustments.
adjustment, yeah, that's it, adjust, that's better.
Yeah, 'cause I-
Fudging not just numbers, we're adjusting numbers.
I went through all the salaries, social security, retirement, I went through all those formulas to make sure the formulas were right. Insurance was the only thing, and plus I did do a 16% increase just based on what they initially said, but I didn't have those
Okay,
actual figures either. Cause I don't think it's exactly 12,759 either for the premiums. They have the premiums on there.
Oh, yeah, it's got it. Thank you. Oh, always.
Oh,
uh-oh,
I thought 12.7 was what it was last year.
no, it was 10,599. So I had 12, with the increase would be 12,759. But according to the sheet that you have here, it's going to be 13,680. So
doesn't sound right.
that's what she got this from. That's what she got this from.
Well, 10,000, hold on. 10,971 times 1.169. 12,825 is a 16.9% increase.
Said 16.9.
That's what she said, 16.9.
I did it by 16%.
Well, yeah, so that's,
And I had 12,759.
yeah, I got 12,825, so.
Yeah. So, but actually, it looks like it's for family coverage. It's gonna be 13,680. If the premium's 1,140.
Do you think maybe she made a mistake? Cause if you know for a fact we paid 10,971 last year, that's what I had in 911's budget. I mean, we know that it wasn't supposed to go more than 16%.
She was looking at, no, that's a C plan. Cause if I look at C plan, that's about what fee plan's premium was.
It's 10,971 times 1.16 is $12,726.
What she has is the current was. She has it, we're currently paying 11,688, and we had them down at 10,599. I'll have to check with Kim tomorrow, pull up an insurance bill and see what our current and projected. That's a bit different.
Yeah. Figure out what's going on there.
That's still better than PEIB plan, which would be 19,380 a person.
Jeez.
Yeah. Shoot, that is a lot. So for single. Not only 660 per single, and I think I had them at 6,205. So single's not too much. We only have one unemployed child, okay. Well, when Kim comes in tomorrow, I'll have her pull the premiums that we currently have and then verify who all's on family and who all's on single. But I did put 100 or 250,000 in the carryover, which there was 26,000. $26,960 that I put under 988 other buildings. That was kind of our area that we were leaving money for the project. So I went ahead and just put the 250,000 in revenues, and then whatever was left was the 26,960. So I'll use that to balance the insurance out.
Okay, so we're pretty good shape.
We balance,
We balance.
we've adjusted.
I don't know if we're balanced, but you're really good.
We've adjusted.
That's the better statement.
So at this point, we won't know what the carryover will be until we finish up the.
End of August, first of middle of September, believe it or not, because and actually Joel followed me in. It's like, and I just went, and he's like, that's not good. I'm like, I ain't got time, I gotta get these numbers in. But I explained to him, we won't have a carryover until, because all the bills for July, if they're still in June debt, like the July bill that we get for the jail in July is actually a June debt. And then payroll for July 15th is actually a June debt. So there's some things that we have to carry over as a June debt. Then we have to watch the P card. The P card statement reflects June debt, so we have to watch that. Are these anything that needs action? Oh, that's it. Oh, and then for Tuesday's meeting, you're gonna do a resolution for the red. There was an email about
American Red Cross month or something.
Tuesday, also, can you add, sure, when he gives the building update, like we can just add it in on the electric.
Oh, yeah. That's a small enough thing that it can just.
Discuss. I make a motion, we pay the, whatever those things are. The costs payable.
Second, motion for accounts payable.
And then what do you want on the agenda?
We were discussing outside electricity on the courthouse. There's no plans for outside electricity.
Oh, they're still on the light where the.
That's not, it was for cameras.
No, that Jason said it doesn't have enough to actually do anything. It's there, but like you can only run a PA system, or like if you plug anything else.
Oh, yeah, like if we're doing a festival, like Strawberry Festival.
Okay, then they take the power that was on the pole did they take that pole out then?
We're not allowed to use it.
Not
It's
allowed
not
to use it.
code.
Okay, so they took all that out.
Well, it's there, but we can't turn it on. Like we'd have to get a disc put in it and they won't come put a meter in it.
Okay, cause I thought that's what that pole was for the festivals.
The one that already has power on it.
The pole that's next to the dumpster.
Yeah, that's what it was for, but it's not up to code. They
It's
won't
not,
put it on.
Okay. And what does it cost to update that?
I don't know that portion, but we're to run a power on the outside of the building, the new addition. a 50 amp service, we went ahead and ran the Chase for $500. So that way, in the future, we can run power to that point. I don't know if we need to discuss that on Tuesday or today is fine too, so.
Well, I'll put it on the agenda for Tuesday,
Yeah.
since. And truthfully, I don't know how that full next dumpster hasn't been taken out yet. You can't
So
walk
do-
down the sidewalk without running into
Do
it.
we need to make any motions towards this budget?
No, that's gonna be on Tuesday's meeting. The budget will be at Tuesday's meeting. So, I'll actually do it in the format that is required, and then that's what will be presented.
Right.
Nope,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
there we go.
I'll second.
And we'll send you a letter